Yo, hello. Let's see if we can anybody hear. Hello, can anybody hear me? This is a live test. 1 2 1 2. Hey, Liz. Hold on. Let me do this. Be there 1 second. I sent you the SteamYard link on Discord, so it should be there for you. Hey, hey, Kiwi. Hey, Dick Insider. How's it all going for you guys? Thank you very much, mate. I like you too. You're a good person. Let Liz up. Hey, Liz.
Hello, how are you?
Oh no. Oh no. Let me do this. Let me go back again. Hold on.
See if everybody can hear us. Oh no, can you not
Made
hear me
mistake. One
again?
second. There wouldn't be a live stream without this. Hey, Liz.
Hello, Paul, can you hear me now?
I definitely can. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry. I've got Bluetooth headphones and I forgot to turn them on.
It happens. Audio
It wouldn't.
issues. If it
It
if it
wouldn't be a
doesn't
live.
start out in a stream with audio issues, we are not true streamers.
That is very, very true. I do like the fact that Kiwi is here. I've always wanted to chat to him about World War I, and yeah, Liz's voice is a beautiful telephone voice. We all know this. She's been told many a times too.
It's just a voice. Hello, Kiwi.
Yeah, but
Hello, Dick Insider. Hello,
you don't
Mr.
know,
P.
Liz. You've got your own fan base out here, love.
OG Liz is here.
Yeah, OG.
It's
Uh,
fine. It's you know what? It's fine. Think about all the radio hosts we had growing up that we all fell in love with their voices.
yeah, yeah, that is very true. That is very, very true. Hit the like button. Liz, we don't do chili here. Chili can go and puckle his wuckle up a close.
OG.
Yes.
I'm gonna mute for just a
Um,
second.
yeah. Kiwi, I have got a brilliant coming up. I've got a brilliant discussion coming up. It's going to be involved in the First World War. I'm trying to get many people as I can involved in it. If you'd like to come in one time and tell your story about your family and with the Anzacs and the Gallipoli, that would be fantastic. I would absolutely love that. So when it comes there, I'll post something on the community page and you can come and join us.
Oh, OG Liz, he can say that all he wants. I really don't care. Whether I have a voice changer or not, that's whatever. Either you like it or you don't.
Well, he insults my co-host, so I'm going to say if Football Titties wants to insult Liz, he can get himself to chase
No,
himself.
that's drama, Paul. We're not going there.
No, but I'm not having him insulting you here too, Liz. So
I
yeah,
am a big girl. I can handle it. Don't
yeah,
worry.
but this is my house.
It's fine.
It's my house. I have rules in my house. Respect.
It's fine, I promise.
Yep. So if old orangutan titties wants to come and say that to Liz, he's not welcome.
That's a new one.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't go there, Paul.
But we're going there for this minute because I'm not having anybody insulting you. You're my co-host, and I'm not allowing it.
Oh, just let it go.
I can't let it go. He's got one swinging, one away, and one
No,
at
no, no, no,
home.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no. Walk away.
this is why I
Walk
got
away
Liz
from
on
that
paddle
topic.
because she because she controls me. So that's enough said. We're not having any more drama. Okay, so how
Oh,
many?
I'm sorry. Is everybody buffering?
Oh, maybe that's just yeah, that's just Liz.
I don't see it buffering and I have it up running.
Oh,
Nope.
Dickens side, I can think of many a things to say, but I don't want to be kicked off my own panel by Liz. It's bad
I
news when
wouldn't do that.
yes, you would, Liz. Yes.
I might.
No, no, you know you would.
It would have to be bad enough.
Oh, trust
Oh,
me.
damn it. Dick Insider. I don't know. Kiwi, did I say hi earlier? If not, I'm sorry I missed you. They got me sidetracked elsewhere. Squirrel!
Hey, Kiwi. I mean, I'd love to read it, but I would also like to hear your reading of it too. That that would be amazing. You know, it's all about personal experience, and I want your personal experience from it.
OG Liz, I'm sorry. All internet providers suck. They
Yeah,
just can't get it together.
they're like a lousy woman, mate.
Uh, a what?
Nothing.
How about just a horrible partner?
Yeah, I'm just.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you do
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
me? I'm not married to you.
No, I would probably end up in jail.
Yeah, you probably would. There's yeah, you probably would.
I'd be in the clink over there.
Yeah, and I'll be in the box 6 feet under.
Come on, I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
I didn't mean I was be dead. I mean you'd probably bury me in a box 6 feet under.
Welcome back, Mr. P.
See, they could start to say that now. I shouldn't have said it. Sorry.
Well, you can say it everywhere else. How's that?
Yeah,
We try to run clean over here for the most part.
for the most parts, yes. For the most parts, like I say, it's mostly a drama three. Mr. P, hello, sir. You'll always be sir in my eyes. That is your title from now on.
Hey, Kiwi.
Sorry.
Okay, you just broke Paul. Thank you very much.
My friend's listening to this too. Oh,
That is Miss Tizzy, correct?
yeah, leave the drama at home. I did, but Mr. P, I was defending my co-host in all honesty.
And
Was I
like I
not,
told him,
Liz?
Mr. P, it's fine.
No, it is not fine. My co-host is my co-host, and I'll defend.
I'm gonna mute for a second to open this bottle.
I think you need a whole bottle, Liz.
Well, I will. It is a bottle of water.
You may need something stronger.
No. I'm good this time of day with intaking.
Mm.
H2O.
Where do I complain about the high prices of coffee pods and lattes and cigs? You
Um,
don't. OG Liz, this is not about your. Also,
well,
doesn't expect.
you don't have to buy the pods, you can get the refillable, reusable ones.
Yeah.
Lattes you can make at home. And
What
cigarettes,
does?
complain to the tax division.
Well, speaking of okay, Dickens cider. Uh, a pack of 12 eggs over here is going to cost £2.25.
Give me just a second, let me pull up my shopping cart because I just put some in there.
Okay. I thank you for that, Dickens cider. I really do thank you for that.
$1.57 right now for 12 extra large eggs.
Yes, about £2.20, 2.25 over here.
But we got to remember that there was the bird flu going through. There was the feed supply that somebody in their infinite wisdom decided to change out something in the feed supply. So it left a whole bunch of birds where they were molting almost all winter long and they actually were
Mm.
not producing. So there was that. And then just transportation and everything else cost went up. And of course, people are going to take advantage of, hey, we've got short supply. So we've got holidays coming up. So let's make everything a little more expensive.
Yeah, it'd be not. So there's a little bit of people. So I think we could talk about this, but not talking about orangutan titties. I think that's out the window now. This is what this is what Cronenberg does to me, mate. Um, okay, right. Yes, yes. OG, this we're getting to that. We're getting to the cost of the living crisis. Okay, is a cost of living crisis a natural progression in life, or is it capitalism gone wrong?
All of the above.
Mm. What do you think should be done to? Well, that took the wind out of my sail, isn't it?
Well, think about it. The inflation that we've had from when we were kids, if we cost compare it from like back in the 80s, I know my first home that I bought, I paid 14% interest
Yeah.
on. 14% interest. And yet
Mm.
people are crying, what are we at? 6.5%?
Mm.
So if you compare that to what I would buy that property for today and the interest rate that I was paying back then, it really hasn't changed a lot. The thing is, wages have not increased.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I
Oh,
get you.
Laura.
Oh, Laura, if you feel tired, my love, go to bed. I don't mind. If you need your sleep, go and get your sleep, my love. You know.
And corporate greed is a thing.
Oh, definitely, definitely, and more so. Would you believe more so in Britain now?
I don't think it's just Britain. I think it's everywhere.
I know what corporate greed is high in Britain. It's higher than the rest of Britain. Yeah, higher than the rest of Europe. I mean, see, 3 cans of Kronenberg, and that's what it does to me. I forget my speech.
But I have questions about that. Is that because you guys are still coming off renegotiation for things and
No, no, no. Okay, so what happens is in the 1980s, and Margaret Thatcher was a capitalist government, so they sold the privatization of different companies of water and telephone communications and everything like that into multi corps. You know,
Same thing that happened really here. We had a lot of things that
yeah,
were government. They had watchdogs for. They
yeah,
weren't giant monopolies,
mm,
you know. And then
yes, it's,
think about, okay, uh, the tech boom. Everybody
yeah,
created all these apps and everything, and it first started out where the bigger companies were gobbling up these smaller companies, and they were
exactly.
buying them out for a ton of money. When a
Yes,
lot of these people forget that a lot of these apps evolve.
from the smaller tech. Oh, hold on, Liz. All right, Kiwi. Well, you take care, mate. And if you come back, you're very welcome to come back, mate. You look after yourself.
Good luck, Kiwi. I'll
Yeah,
see you back here in a little while.
yeah, mate. You take care.
Yeah. But I mean, we've had so much evolution and then merging of companies and things like that. Um,
Mm,
but we have, see, that's everybody, we have the big corporations around the world.
yeah,
And then you've got all the startups, and they want to be bought by the bigger companies, or you've got the independents who want to try to do it on their own, and it is harder to compete with the bigger companies.
yeah. Very much so. Especially when you've got companies like Google and Amazon.
Yeah, concentration of wealth is a thing.
Even Facebook. Facebook was made to make communication better. Then it became this powerful global force.
Did it though? For a while there, it
Gee,
did. I think it was great when it was families and friends communicating until when people were just visiting each other and not having to play competition, keep up with the Joneses.
well, phone boning was a bit easier when you had phone when you had Facebook like that.
How is that phone boning?
Well, it's text boning then.
But there were servers for that back then too.
Yeah, but you
You
could
didn't need
text.
Facebook for that.
No, but you could text in the library, couldn't you?
I would never. I would never. The internet is forever.
you know, set
The
your phone to
internet.
vibrate and just text.
I know I have to be careful with my mic, so I'm not heavy breathing on you guys. Sorry. I am a little bit stuffy.
Oh dear. I told my friend, I said we discuss things, but
It always
it's a
goes perverse for a little while.
yeah, it really does, and we have to blame Laura Raider too.
I don't blame Laura. I blame you, Paul.
I, why did people blame me?
Because you're the host?
Yeah, but no. Well,
Get
maybe.
get your mind off of phone boning Laura over there.
Laura doesn't want a phone bone. I offered text phone boning, or even offered to stab Nightbot for her, and nothing.
Well, we don't have Nightbot over here, so we don't have to worry about stabbing it.
Yeah, but when Nightbot appears, I offered to take him out in a duel for Laura.
Poor Laura.
I said I would win her favour by stabbing Nightbot.
Don't creep her out.
Creep her out. I think it'll take a lot more than that to creep her out. Hey, Angel, how's it going, mate?
Sorry, I just shoved a thing of noodles in my
Yeah.
face.
What? You what?
I have not eaten yet today. So I made a cup of noodles and they're getting grody. Hello, Angel. How
Okay.
are you?
I have no proof of Nightbot's demise. Laura, it is like a waiting game. When he appears, I'll be like a stealth assassin. I'd be like a ninja. Just creep up on him and stab him.
All right, so we get back to not creeping on people.
And
Still here
Laura
again.
doesn't. Laura doesn't.
I was
See?
trying not to slurp.
See, Suckham's an
It's
ill.
okay.
I never said that. That was Laura who said that.
Doesn't mean you have to zone into it.
It said my name. Of course I'm going to.
Oh, sadly, this is
This
what
is
we go through
this
the
is the
first
way.
20 or 30 minutes.
Yes. Yes. This is what happens. Oh well.
Oh, there are some, people,
People
no kink
for that.
shaming.
Yeah, I don't do that. I think that's absolutely disgusting.
I was raised with teach their own, so whatever.
Okay, so back to the topic. Okay, is I will throw out an invite onto anybody in the thing. If you put down number one, has anybody else got an opinion on the cost of living crisis? If you want to come up and talk about it, you're very much welcome. If you want to, put a one.
Okay, like I said, I have questions for you. If
Of course, you
while
can
somebody's
ask
gonna
questions.
ping back.
Yeah,
Um, with you being in a roommate situation, have you and the roommate sat down and made a menu so you guys could combine forces to go to like the grocery store and stuff?
have a fuck. No,
Why
no,
not?
because I ain't gonna pay for their food.
You don't have to pay for their food. Everybody pays for their own food. But
Yep.
you
No.
you are you are a cook.
Yes, it doesn't mean I love cooking for everybody else. I like getting paid for cooking. There's a hell of a difference.
Okay, but I'm saying though, if you were cooking one meal for just yourself, do you prep and cook two or three of those same things to put in the freezer to?
I do batch cooking.
Okay. I mean, that does help as
Okay.
well.
Right. Mr. P is turning up, so I'm going to give him the key, Liz.
Go for it. Grim. He has opinions I
Okay.
can listen to as I shove noodles in my face.
And while I have thoughts about it.
Oh. Okay, whatever.
Don't blame me, that was Laura who said that. Okay. There you go. No, we're just having a discussion, Laura. Then we'll talk. Then we'll finish the discussion and we'll talk about naughty things afterwards, if that pleases you. Oh, I won't pay Paul to cook him. He'll make me haggis and black pudding. Standard whipping post for circles. See, did I deserve that, Laura? Liz?
Mm-hmm.
You just carry on munching.
You two in the same chat vicinity. Do this.
Yes, it's a bad idea. Okay, so I'm putting Mr. P on there, Liz.
Some level as a government. If I was a government worker,
Yo, hello, boss. How's it going, mate?
Sir Paul, man, what's going on?
Yeah, man. Nothing much, mate. Nothing much. Just had a couple of beers, so chilled out, good mood, and enjoying the chat.
Yeah, man. You have a nice day today? Hey, Liz.
Yeah. No, it was pretty chilled.
It's awesome, yeah, man. It's always good to relax. How about you, Liz?
Yeah.
You having a good day?
Yes, I'm shoveling noodles in my face.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you continue doing that. Don't worry, I won't embarrass
It's
you.
fine.
That's good.
Yeah, Mr. P.
Yeah,
Don't disturb Liz
it's
while
like,
she's eating, mate.
Yeah, my fault. I forgot. Yeah, it's like 7:30 here, so sun's coming down. It's like nice weather. It's not too hot, cold. So
Yeah.
I love these days, man. The late spring, beginning of summer. It's just like my favorite time of year.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like it here too because I suffer really bad from SAD.
You
You
said
know,
what?
I suffer bad from SAD.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I just got to say hi. Hi, AAA. How's it going, mate? I hope you're well.
Yeah, man. The more light hours, the extended days really help.
Yeah, totally. And also, it curbs my appetite. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. This car is like outrageously horrible. Can you hear that?
I can. I'm no expert in cars, mate, but it sounds pretty much fucked.
Yeah, it's time to get that belt changed, sir. Like, take care of your vehicle,
Yeah.
please. Thank you.
Is it the fan? Is it the fan belt?
I would say that sounds like a fan belt. The one that operates everything, including the fan. Drive belt, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Timing belt.
No, not the timing belt. This is the one that runs everything, like the
Yeah.
alternator and all that
Liz.
stuff. I'm not an expert, but I could tell you that's
Yeah.
definitely
Liz,
a
I thought
fan
we
belt.
weren't going to talk about dirty things.
Timing belts?
Well, just keep in mind the timing belt is a lot different. It's called something else where he's from, so just got to be careful.
I can make anything into an innuendo. It's one of my great
I made
skills.
that up. I made that up, Liz.
Yeah.
It's not true at all.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, OG Liz, we'll see you in a bit. Hello, AAA, by the
Okay.
way. Back to
Yeah.
shoveling noodles in my face.
Yeah. Timing chain. I haven't got a fucking clue. To be quite honest, I wouldn't know.
Timing chains are more like in newer cars. You don't really hear them, and usually when they pop
Hmm.
off, the car turns off, and in some cases the car is completely destroyed when the timing belt goes off. But usually when you hear
Okay.
a squeaking noise like that, it's the timing belt. It's the fan belt slipping because it's worn out.
See if I could you see I know absolutely nothing about cars, but I could tell you how to cook a steak and do many sauces and stuff like that. But what put me off driving once, I almost crashed the car into somebody's living room.
Jesus. Yeah, I've driven a car through a garage, but that's the most I've done
Yeah,
in terms of damage to somebody's house with a vehicle.
yeah. So yeah, almost went into their living room and asking for a cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know
So
what you mean.
and that I was only 14 at the time, so it put me off driving for a bit.
Yeah, that'll do
So
it, especially when you're
I
that young.
don't. Yeah, I don't drive, so that's one. And plus, when I reach of age, I'd like to have a beer.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, do you guys have Uber out there?
Yeah, we've got Uber, mate. We've got loads of this stuff over here, mate.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, Uber's fantastic, man.
Hmm.
Especially they just love to hang around the bars too, right around a certain time. Uh,
I don't
it's
think
very
they're allowed
convenient.
to. Yeah, don't think they're allowed to over here.
Really
It's different rules. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, they actually do this thing with where if you have a heat map and where there's a lot of calls for rides, you go towards the heat map, and then you get like 1, 2, 3, 5 times whatever your rate is for picking people up within the heat map. So they try to
Yeah.
promote people to go towards where there's a lot of requests. So I did a little bit of Ubering, and
Okay.
a couple years ago, and that was the thing. You get near airports and
Yeah.
clubs, and you're up all night basically with
Hmm.
Ubering.
Oh yeah. But okay, so we're going to go back to the original discussion, the
For
cost of living
sure, for sure.
crisis.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
so the question is it the fault of capitalism, or is it just a natural progression in what's happening?
Okay. I guess I would have to ask specifically what you mean by the fault of capitalism.
Capitalism, the greed of people.
Okay, got it. So if I was to have a reason for the cost of living, I would say number one is the monetary system not having a legitimate backing. So the removal of the gold standard and, the United States, having a U.S. dollar, which apparently is the standard across the globe for
Yeah.
currency, is a massive issue when it's not backed by something like gold or something of actual value as opposed to just paper. And especially we've seen a huge increase in inflation because of the amount of printing of money that's been necessary in order to, get money back into the system.
Okay.
Put money in folks' home, in their hands during a rough time.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to throw another spanner in the wrench.
Okay.
In the wheel. Sorry, I had a few beers. Please forgive me.
Okay. Yeah. No worries.
Okay, has COVID played a major part in it too, and the war in Ukraine?
I mean, yeah. But we've seen this a couple times in history, not just COVID, but COVID was the spark that lit the fire of massive spending. All of a sudden we put, we gave out checks and, spent all this money. Now
So you're
it's war
talking about
it's all kinds of things.
you're talking about the Great Recession in the 2000s.
Well, yeah. I don't think that had a lot to do with it because it began, the Fed, in their process of, what was it, quantitative easing, I think they call it. And, specifically messing with the interest rate, the borrowing value of money. And the fact that they've kept it at such a ridiculously low, unrealistic level, now you have, interest rates that are now, people aren't used to that. And then now you have, the value of the dollar dropping very fast. You end up paying for something that now costs 3, 4, 5 times what it did 10 years ago. And that's a massive jump. And the problem is we're still working for the same dollar. So our pay isn't changing. We're still earning the dollars that are losing value at the same rate, but everything costs more now. So, it's just putting a massive pressure on everything, and something's got to give. It can't just keep going in this direction, without something popping. Either value of the dollar changing, the value of goods changing, or just, we just stop paying all of our debts and everything defaults and it breaks there. There's something has to give. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it's coming soon. It's not going to be, in the next 6 months, but I think the next 5 years, we're going to see something major come, in regards to the value of the dollar.
Yeah. So do you
or
think,
the use of it?
because, as you're saying, a major change, do you think there is a chance, however small, of a revolution?
A revolution in regards to the United States?
Yeah, anywhere in the world. It's a Western, like say, the Western problem. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's pretty much a guarantee when all of a sudden you have folks not being able to afford their mortgages, their rents, their cars, and their credit cards, and just unable to buy things. There's no choice but to revolt. It's just how I think the only thing that would change, at least for the United States, I can't speak for other countries, but
No,
the United
States,
States,
yeah.
yeah, for the United States, I think the only way we, somehow get past or avoid a massive revolt would be to basically change the monetary system in a way that doesn't pull the bottom out, where everything is valueless or costs millions of dollars. There needs to be some kind of process of bringing the monetary system back into backed by a value, or limiting how much is out there, so we're not constantly seeing the value drop because there's just more and more money in the system. It's just I think that's the only way to do it, and you have to be really smart to do it that way. So I think we avoid it, if we can figure that out.
Okay, so there's another question too, as it's a good way of discussing. Do you think the US is more in danger of revolt than the UK? Taking
That's
what
tough to
happened.
say.
Yeah, taking what happened when Trump was in power with what happened in Washington.
Okay, so what happened in Washington wasn't a result of the monetary system. What happened in
Yeah, no,
Washington was the loss of faith of the voting
yeah,
system.
yeah, but that's, I mean, yeah, the voting system and all that, but that's all to do with politics, and money's to do with politics too, isn't it?
To an extent. I mean, when Trump was president, and this is my opinion, but the economy in the U.S. was better. Interest rates were low, taxes were lower, companies were coming back into the U.S. as opposed to staying outside the U.S. because their incentive to do business in the U.S. was higher than it had ever been. So there's a perceived or real huge economic difference of that president versus what we're seeing today, or what we didn't know what we were going to see, but what we perceived we were going to see if Trump wasn't president. So that caused a major revolt. Not to mention, how they changed the voting system for COVID, and we've never seen, an election
Yeah,
last that long, and people just stopped counting, and there's just so many things happening that you had that real loss of trust in the system, and that led to what we've seen. And you know, I'm not going to get too political on this matter, but I think a lot of what
no,
happened there was also intentionally provoked by people that wanted to see it provoked, as we've seen some of the videos of some of these actors, at that revolt in Washington. But um, look, I mean, I think if you do things really incorrectly, so you continue to put pressure on the middle class, the lower class. You continue to funnel money upward into the upper class, or the 1%. I think people are just going to keep getting angry, and they're just going to stop doing what the system needs them to do. They're just going to stop.
okay,
They're not going to work. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to wreak havoc, and
I,
as they should, because what else? What other choice did they have?
okay, well, yeah, yeah, I mean, I sort of get you. I sort of get you. I mean, I don't agree in what you said, but
Totally
that's
cool.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. That's the whole point of this channel.
Yeah. No, and I'd love to
It's to
hear another perspective on
yeah,
it.
it's to discuss things. Um, is it the what's
Hello,
happened
Ruru.
now? Yeah, hey Ruru, how you doing?
Oh, Rue's
I've
here.
seen
What's
you
up,
there.
Rue?
Yeah, Ruru's here. Yeah,
Mr. P, I have a question for you because
Please.
now when we were growing up, I'm probably a decade or so older than you. Everything
I'm
used to run in
36.
like a. Yeah, I'm over a decade older than you.
Okay, fair enough.
your lady is always
Sorry, trying
younger,
not to
Liz.
cough. Um, but everything kind of ran in a 7 year cycle. The housing
Right.
market, the inflation, um, uh, all of that changed in the early 2000s, where now what we're seeing now is a stretch of, like 14 years cycles,
Right.
where
Right.
with the highs and the lows. It didn't break us then, and I don't believe it's going to break us now. I think the first in, first out, warehousing, things like that need to come back, because I think COVID taught us a lot of, oh, give me just a second.
Okay, has Liz gone for a second?
Oh, I mean, maybe we'll let her finish her
Yeah,
thought if it's going to be a second.
yeah. Well, she'll come back. Okay, so while she's gone, we'll just ask another thing question. Is this a result of what's happening now with the cost of living of policies that have been put from years and years ago?
I, I'm sure it is, to an extent. Um, there's a lot of policies that have been put in place, even 10, 15 years ago that were,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing is when you have a president, people think, oh, everything's going to change, but it's like the things that president does in that time really have an effect usually 7, 8, 10, 12 years from that point. And
mm,
that's a lot of the reason why we look back and we honor a lot of the presidents that maybe weren't as popular, because now history is written where they were right. They did the right thing. even in the face of a lot of negativity for what they were doing. But
I
I think it's a combination. It's definitely a
yeah.
combination.
From an
Sorry.
outsider, sorry. From an outsider point of view, there, Mr. P. I mean, I actually really like you. You sound like a top geezer to me, and I'll gladly sit down and have a beer with you in the pub. You know what I mean? I just don't think that the last president, from an outsider's point of view, well, he was as much use as tits on a goldfish. I think.
Okay, that's perfect because I love when somebody has this opinion, not because I'm like an
Hmm.
expert, but just because I feel like the way you feel about it, you're not going to think about some of the things I'm going to talk about, and vice versa. So I'm happy
Yeah,
to debate that with you. Um,
you
but
know.
Liz had a
Yeah,
thought.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did, sorry.
Okay.
No, my husband came in soaking wet because the hose had just exploded on him.
Oh, did you do that, or was that an accident?
No, he came
It
in
sounds
dripping
like a
wet
yeah.
and
It
goes,
sounds like a fun party, Liz. It sounds like a fun
I've
time.
definitely pulled that prank before when my dad was doing the grass, and he was lining everything up, and then I'll be there turning on the water, and what the hell's going on? Just you try to have some fun when you're a kid. But anyways,
yeah.
go ahead,
So
Liz.
that was a sight to see dripping in my hallway.
Mm, sure it
too many,
was.
too many thoughts. Too many thoughts.
Don't go there. Don't go there. But what I was
Purge,
saying though,
purge, purge.
with COVID, I'm hoping some companies actually learned, probably not a lot, but to start warehousing things again. We've lost a lot of warehousing where everything was batch ordering and on demand, and things should be stockpiled.
So you're
That
saying that the change in the way that we buy things is a lot of the cause of it, basically, like the
there
Amazon
is
type of economy.
there is definitely a cause and
Right.
effect there. Yeah, I mean, COVID. Look, okay. How many times did we essentials toilet paper? Oh, we can't get that because we quit warehousing it. It was all on demand.
Right.
We only produced that. Um, uh, I can't even remember what else we went through for a while there. The masks. We had local producers and production companies spin back up, but nobody wanted them.
Right.
Because they
Right.
couldn't get the contracts out and they couldn't get pricing efficiency, and it's like, wow.
Right, and that's I think what Paul's talking about capitalism, because you have these companies that are competing for a small profit margin, and it gets smaller and smaller every day. So who wins? It's the people that can manufacture as much as possible, as cheap as possible. And how does that happen? Well, you get rid of people manufacturing. You get manufacturing done in an area where the people that are involved cost less. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you, mate.
Did I cut out? Okay. The people that are involved, like for example, you can get something manufactured in China much less than you can get it here in the U.S. So that change in economy, 100% is affecting the people that live here, his ability to have a job that's worthwhile, that pays well, and these companies can't stay in business if they pay a really good wage for everybody. It's impossible to sell the product at the prices that they're selling at. Um, it's kind of like just a perpetuating cycle. That's a major problem, but it's not the only problem for sure.
Right. Okay, so I I respect your point. I'm just going to bring other points into it. Laura Rader has made a brilliant point, and I think it's very correct. Has multi corp businesses, massive businesses, priced out the little business, and how we spend our where we spend the money has led up to this too.
Well, right, it's a symptom of the same problem, right? I mean,
Hmm.
if you have a company, just using the Amazon example, how can you compete with Amazon? And in most cases, if you are competing with Amazon and you're doing well, chances are they're probably going to buy you, and they're going to
Yeah.
make an offer you can't refuse to purchase you out of the market. So yeah. And what happens when you have a local business that is serving that local community? Well, guess what? They're expensive. You walk in there, you're like, oh, it's so nice that they're making cookies and bread and, great. And then you look at the price of the loaf and you're like, holy shit, I can get this loaf at Stop and Shop for a quarter of the price. So if you
Okay,
want
so
to, pay for it, it's hard
yeah.
to do. And you can't do it on a regular basis.
Okay, so I'm going to
Okay.
put this point in. As everybody knows, I'm studying history, and when you study history, you learn about the way people interacted and how they used to purchase and buy stuff, how they used to sell merchandise too. But this is just like a natural social revolution, and what is happening now.
Yeah, I agree. I just think when you also play with the value of the currency that you're using in this exchange, you're exacerbating the cycle. And
Yeah,
it's a balance. You have to balance it, and that's why they start talking about having a wage for people just to exist, because you just can't keep up with it. There needs to be some kind of balance of income, because you can't just continue to put pressure on the families, take more jobs, put them overseas, have machines do them, and expect the middle class, upper lower
mm,
class to survive. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's like they have to have some kind of fiscal support, and where does that come from? So that,
Yeah,
this is why you're hearing these talks.
I get you on that. So, Liz, what's your opinion on this?
Well, my thing is, I mean, the biggest welfare program in the United States is child care credit, if you actually look. So people are claiming that, and I get that they have to utilize that. There's those things. But I think even farther back than like Amazon and Google, Walmart. Walmart started out with Sam Walton. Everything
It's a
was
great
made in the
example.
USA. It was great. I worked for them. They were a great company to work for. And then he passed away, and things changed hands. And then it was, we're going to buy up all these businesses, and we're going to start producing our own stuff and things like that. And then they started taking over whole communities, but not really giving back to communities as much as they were intaking from them. So
Okay,
it closed
so
down a lot of small businesses. Laura, like the Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't think in today's age there's gonna be big building blocks of companies that are gonna be just single focused anymore. You just can't be.
okay, so what about places like McDonald's? Then? I mean, they do stuff for the community, but yet they seem to be. I'm going to use what Laura said. They tend to have a greed and consolidation of power in their company.
But you got to remember that most McDonald's are franchise owned, so it's going to be to whoever owns the franchise of what they're paying their employees and maintaining.
Yeah. I mean, I get that too, but McDonald's has still got a say in what's happening, haven't they?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a franchise. If in order to run the franchise, you can't just start selling, your own hot dogs in McDonald's, and you
Yeah.
have to pay for that franchise. So that's going to price you at a certain point where you have to pay your employees a certain amount. You're buying the product that you're selling from their sources or them directly. I don't own a franchise, so I can't tell exactly, but you're getting the same cheeseburger you get over in North Carolina that you get in California that you get in Texas. So it's coming from the same sourcing.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, you even though you're a quote franchise owner, you're essentially a pawn or a cog in the wheel, despite being a business owner, because you're still having to operate under the corporation, mindset, and whatever rules they have set for you to own the franchise.
Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to say like a year, generations a year. So would through the cost of living crisis, would it be solved if we went back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s way of shopping?
None of the above.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to choose one of those.
Well, you can say none of the above if you don't disagree. I mean, you can choose any one of
I,
them
I
if
would
you
say
think.
I would say pre-60s if I had to choose pre-60s.
Okay. Okay. So you think if we went back back into and chose like how we used to do stuff in the pre-60s, it would probably solve a little bit of it.
Right. And I mean, after having this conversation, I came into it kind of monetary system focused, but I think it's almost a 50-50 with the way the economy works with big business. I mean, like a good example would be if you ever gone to like, I don't know if you have like private communities where you are, Paul, but like, in the Northeast, we have a lot of like little small towns that, might be centered around a beach or, maybe not even a beach, just a certain, way the town does business where they don't allow big businesses to come in, and it's a private community and they operate under a different set of rules, and their economy is almost isolated from, the world around them. And they allow these small businesses to come in and flourish and serve the community. They're not competing with these other huge corporations because they're not allowed in that area. So stuff like that, I think, is more representative of pre-60s or, the way we used to do business. Not to mention, obviously, the backing of the dollar with gold and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Okay, so Laura's made a very good point, and she's saying you have to move forward into the future, right? But
So how do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to move forward. You've got to take a little shuffle back.
Yeah. So what do we do? Do we just say, hey, McDonald's, or let's say Walmart or Amazon or, all these, because we say, hey, you got to split up now. It's like almost like the way they did the telephone companies, like take Mama Bell and break her up to little bells. I mean, how do you do that without destroying a business?
No need to talk about my manhood like that, mate. We leave the little bells alone.
We make it to where they actually have to start investing back into companies that were feasible before. We have this thing now where a lot of the bigger companies, they do some charity works and things like that, so they look good. Where
For
the
taxes.
employees now, well, yeah, but the employers are now looking to, and I know, like my generation, we really are looking into companies and seeing where they are investing in the communities and the issues that they stand on. So is that not an evolution before? Because before it was just like, oh, they own the company. We can't do anything. We can't hold them accountable.
I know in Britain, in the 80s, there was a massive sellout of privatization through the railways, electricities, through communications, and gas and water. But right now, with the trains, they're putting them under government control again, because the privatized companies are not doing their jobs properly.
Yeah, this is a tough subject because you want the business to flourish on their own, but you don't want to have too much government control. But if you let them do their own thing, they become these super, powers that dissolve everything around them. So like, how do you walk that line? I mean, I don't like monopolies. I feel like Amazon's monopoly. Why isn't anybody, mess with them in terms of, slowing their growth or forcing them to, fund?
You have to mile for what they started from.
Correct, but there still has to be something done about killing an economy because
I get you, but
a machine is going to swallow everything.
Yeah. I mean, you've got. We even look at Richard Branson. You know how he started from.
I don't remember exactly, but please tell me.
He started off selling. Okay, I'm going to say he started off selling vinyl records from a telephone box.
Okay, got it.
And he's made himself into a billionaire.
Right, and that should be applauded. I think when you get to a certain level, kind of like what Liz says, when you start getting to the point where you're just literally making so much money, you don't know what to do with it. You're absorbing businesses. I think there has to be some kind of level in which your either your taxes or a fund you have to pay into that prevents the absorption of these companies. So it allows them to continue flourishing. How do you do that? I have no freaking clue, because it's such a web of companies and people that are involved, and you move one thing and it affects somebody way over here. So it's a really tough thing to figure out. But I don't like the idea of just letting a company grow free reign, just whatever they want to do, because it's inevitably will hurt the economy, regardless of how humble their beginnings were.
It'd be like a five company economy.
Yeah, like I don't know, like for example, like excuse me. Is this like every car just like a piece of shit around here? Sorry guys, I don't mean it's just like it's driving me nuts. When it comes to like, all right, for example, you have a company like Amazon, they're paying a modest wage. They're, swallowing up the companies around them that paid better wages because they could charge better. Now they can't compete. Anything happening. So how are people affected, right? So one, you have a business going out. You have a business owner losing their money. They can't pay their mortgage. They have to go into a different living situation. They can't pay for schools. They can't pay for food, whatever. So you take the things in which they're affected, and it's kind of like the way insurance works, where if an insurance company goes, insolvent, they have a fund that they all pay into to make sure that they can keep the promises they kept with the consumer. So I would say it would have to be something similar to that, where they're not just getting away with paying little to no taxes. They're actually, paying a heavy fine when you get to a certain amount that is helping contribute to the local economy. How you implement it, again, I'm not an expert, but I would say it'd have to be something similar to that, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you said before. It is a difficult subject because it can bring out the worst in some people, and other people it can bring out things. And lots of people have got different opinions on it.
I don't think it's just one thing or another, though. I think
you're right.
So many. I mean, it's like pulling the pinatas with the string. You never know which one is going to be the trigger event.
I wish somebody pulled my pinata.
God damn it! You walked right into that, Liz.
Don't I always?
I'm British, and we use innuendo in everything.
Funny.
Okay, but USPS, I mean, they're the whole thing about the postal service is what is it, 50, 75 years, something like that out for their retirement fund is already prepaying into that. So it's not like, it's effective today. Yeah, do they have to change things today to affect things 70 years down the line? Yeah. I mean, but they're prepaying all of their retirement benefits.
Who's prepaying?
The Postal Service for the union?
Okay, yeah. So you mean up front, or like what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, they're prepaid.
Okay.
They're overpaying. They have to maintain a certain pot.
What is that? Like, explain that in terms of relevance to what we're talking about. I just didn't understand the connection.
Well, Laura was saying because they try to privatize a government service.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. My thing is what about all the people that now have to work as an employee for a lower wage? What about the people that can't work? I mean, the government's struggling right now to pay for all the welfare, Medicare, everything that they're paying right now. Obviously, we're going into more and more debt every year, which is also going to lead to a huge crisis if we can't figure out how to pay our debts and we default. So, their funding needs to come from somewhere. And I think if the balance is going towards these big corporations, well, that's where a lot of the funding should be coming from. If you do business outside the U.S., you shouldn't be able to just skate around, the ability to pay wages and taxes. And if you have to raise prices, that's fine. It will balance out. But when you have, the value of your dollar dropping all the time, you need to spend less and less and less because you're basically spending more and more just because of inflation. So it's a bad cycle. But I think if that's where the money's going, if the money's funneling up, it needs to be funneled back down. And again, an economist or economicus, an economist? Excuse me. An economist would tell you a lot more than I could. But that's just for me as layman's terms. I would say that we need to redirect, the way the money flows right now, because it's just funneling faster and faster to the top.
Okay, so here's another one I've just thought of. The cost of living crisis it comes from our energy, energy we use, whether it be what I would call petrol, you'd call gas, and you would be natural gas or oil, yeah, and coal.
Black gold.
With yeah, just for power stations and and like that. The point I'm making is a lack of investment into renewable energy partly to blame for the what is happening now.
My personal opinion is there were some people who were willing to invest in it going in, and others that are still reluctant to this day, who are not seeing that change is coming. And it's better to be on the ball and trying to do things ahead of time than trying to play catch up.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, I do believe that that the lack of investment in renewable energy has made this a bit more tougher than it should be.
Okay, so this is a really hotly debated topic, especially among conservatives and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
uh, the
no, no,
right and the
no.
left.
Yeah, but that's what
So
I want. I want this to be
sure,
discussed, but
sure.
I don't want to be shouted. I just be discussed in a
Oh,
rational
no, no,
way.
no, 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 no. And we're doing that. We're doing that.
Yeah, yeah, of
But
course,
my
yeah,
so where this is where I'm considered a moderate, because I am for renewable energy.
yeah.
I
Me
think
too.
that renewable energy is just the most common sense thing we can do. Where instead of just taking dinosaurs and old fossil fuels, and instead of burning dinosaurs and driving with them, or using it for whatever we want, electricity,
So,
we should be finding
Miss,
an easier way
yeah.
to do that. And
So,
I'm
Mister P,
saying that
you,
lightly. I
yeah.
don't actually mean that.
So, Mister P, you bet my ex-mother-in-law then.
Yeah, well, exactly, exactly. I was trying to be
Yeah,
nice, but
yeah. When you talk about dinosaurs, she comes in my mind, mate.
yeah, yeah, it's all good. I completely understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I do get you. I mean, the reliance on this fossilized fuel when nobody's been putting money into natural and renewable fuel. We've
All
got a
right, so here's
sun.
a here's a here's another part of the issue, though. So when you talk about burning fuel, uh, that goes back to, all right, well, how do we create jobs? Well, when you're extracting fuel and you're extracting fossil fuels, coal, whatever it is that we use to make electricity and energy, well, there's people involved in that. It's a lot less, sending it over somewhere else, and we do it right here. We can
But
do it in our
isn't there?
country.
Yeah, isn't
So
there
there's a
not? Yeah,
benefit to it, economically speaking.
okay. Yeah, but isn't there a benefit to renewable fuel? Say that you're using solar panels. Isn't there where you can employ people to look after those panels and to employ people to install those panels into people's houses?
So that's a good point, and this is where my argument for panels kind of starts to drop, and I get a lot of good points that argue against it. But here's the thing: you
Hmm.
don't need anybody to monitor it in the sense where that's going to give you a lot of jobs. Most of these things have computer chips and communication, with either cell networks or internet, to be able to have it go to a monitoring station in which a computer will just alert somebody when something is either fallen below or stopped working, and then
Hmm.
they can rectify the issue. So it's not really creating a lot of jobs. Yes, it may create some, but it's not going to, when it comes to comparing it to extracting fuel out of the ground versus, panels, is a big difference there. But here's the other part that's an issue. When you're putting panels up, how do we do it in a way where we can use that for more than 30, 40, 50 years? And then it becomes irrelevant, because
Yeah.
when you're creating these panels, you're creating a matter that is not recyclable, and it's not, you can't just break it down and reuse it. There's some parts, but for the most part it just becomes a heap of trash. So are we creating a worse issue down the road? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where, all right, well, how do we fix that? And most people will say, when I argue with them about it, is that solar is fine, but really perfecting, atomic energy or nuclear energy is going to be the way that we move into the future, not just extracting it from the sun,
All
if
right,
that
and I
makes
have an
sense.
argument for that.
Great.
Yep. Okay,
Because
your turn, Liz.
because you do have maintenance on your solar panels. You have to maintain those. You've got to have somebody come out and clean those. And if you lose one panel, depending upon what kind of system you are on, you may have to have the tech up there to rewire your whole setup. If you don't have it set up a certain way. You've also got your battery, your maintenance, your connections that you've got to take care of. And then recycling, it is glass. There's a piece of film in the middle of that will probably eventually be able to be recycled, like the car batteries they are doing now, recycling those into storage facilities out in the middle of the desert. So you figure the frames on those are all metal, those are utilized, the glass can be reutilized. So the only part you really have, even the wire can be melted down and reutilized. It's just that little piece of paper in the middle that has all the electrodes on it. And I'm sure there's probably going to be some way to recycle that.
Yeah, and hopefully they figure that out, because then it's just like, all right, well, whatever, we'll just take the panels down and reuse them, which would null and void that argument. Um, you know, I'm not against solar. I actually worked for a solar company. I fully support solar. I would much rather most people produce their own electricity and only need the grid for the moments in which they're, it's cloudy for a week, or they're just not getting enough power, their battery runs out, whatever. And even that, we're starting to get better with storage. But inevitably, even the storage is an issue. A battery does not last forever. Lithium is difficult to mine. It's expensive. It's
No, but
it's
have
not
you?
necessarily a good economical decision, especially in the long run with batteries. I mean, they're figuring it out. There's hard storage. There's different types that are out there that are getting better. But as of today, we haven't perfected the battery.
No, it has not been perfected. But all those batteries that are coming out of the cars are actually being hooked up into a grid system to actually store power, because as a larger component, they actually store better than a solo component. So they're actually starting to hook up grids to that to store excess energy.
Can
Can
you
I
be
say something
specific? Are you
about?
talking about which battery you're talking about? Are you talking about the normal car battery? Or are you talking about the electric car batteries? I just wanted to understand what you meant.
I'm talking about the electric car batteries, and I'm talking about the batteries that are in the old systems for the houses.
Okay,
They're
got it.
actually
Okay,
hooking
yep.
those up into like a giant solar power bank that when the grid has excess, it goes to these what everybody thought the obsolete batteries were, that we just had to trash them. They're actually
Right.
finding out as a group they actually are better at holding power,
Oh,
so
you mean like
they're
almost like a
utilizing those.
capacitor kind of deal, or like something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's like a
Got it.
big power bank.
Got it. Well, that's awesome. I mean, again, so let me ask you this. Are you against nuclear energy? Are you against creating a mini sun on the Earth that burns forever? If they can figure that out, is that something you don't like?
No, I think it depends on the utilization of it. You know,
Like,
how many
how do you
times have
mean?
we seen everybody claim that nuclear energy was going to be the way, and then we've had a few disasters with it. So they've
Very
changed the
Chernobyl.
small
way they,
amount. Very
No,
small
no,
amount,
yeah,
though.
yeah, very
but
small
it doesn't
amount.
matter. But Chernobyl's still affecting people from all over the world.
Of
Yeah, I
course.
mean, a lot of it is. I mean, the I
Was it
mean,
three islands, 5 mile? Yeah, 5 mile was it? The 5 mile nuclear disaster.
No, it's
Three
nothing to
Mile.
it's nothing to dismiss. It was a huge freaking
Yeah,
disaster that
I'm
even
just
to
trying
this
to think.
day is
No, I'm just trying to think of the name. Was it 3 mile or 5 mile?
3 Mile.
3 mile.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's way back in there in the computer bank. But even some of the nuclear war heads and things that they've done and replaced, and trying to find location for those. Um, 3 Mile Island. Thank you for somebody would get it. Um, I don't have a problem with nuclear. I just want to make sure that they cross all their T's and dot all their I's to make sure that it's safe. I think before we have more energy crisis issues, I think we're going to have more water issues. So
Okay.
that's another
So
place we need to look at investing.
can I offer a rebuttal on nuclear?
Please. It's
Well,
your house, bro.
nuclear is a get well, let people talk first. I'm not rude. I hate talking over people. But
Very polite.
nuclear power stations, I've got one major, major, major drawback.
Okay.
And you know where I'm going with this?
And just for everybody, just go with it, you know.
Okay, where are you going to put the nuclear waste?
Yeah, I mean they have a way of storing it. It involves cement and
Yeah, but it's okay, but it's storing
burying
it, but
them. But
you keep on going and it's still going to get bigger, isn't it? And there's a chance of it leaking.
sure, yeah.
So where are you going to build all your nuclear power stations? Where are you going to put the waste?
Well, where are you going to put the waste of fossil fuels? I mean, we're just dumping it into the environment. You know,
Yeah, but no, but I'm saying, yeah, dumping it into environment. But you're talking about, well, fossil fuels are dangerous, but their effects will disappear quicker than the effects of radiation.
for sure, for sure. I think really
No,
what you have
no,
to look
yeah,
at
but
is the long term of it. But go ahead,
hold on,
finish.
Mr. P. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to put this down because this is hysterical for me. I do love Futurama. Find it and shoot it into space. That is a
That's actually a great
solution.
idea, actually. I think it's actually a pretty practical solution considering the cost of rockets. Not even messing around. I mean, pretty cheaply you can get a very small rocket that's just designed to just get the freak out of here. And you load that stuff in there, and who knows? Maybe it might come back in
But
a million
wouldn't
years.
okay,
Maybe
yeah,
it
but
won't.
wouldn't that land in our atmosphere?
What? What are you talking about? No, I'm saying get this thing into space, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah, but if it
Until
goes into
one
space,
explodes.
if it explodes, it'd be in our atmosphere, won't it?
well, we're effed. But I mean, you're telling me that you can make a nuclear missile and you know what I'm saying, like versus, and then you can't put it in space. I don't know, man. I don't buy that. I think there's
I
plenty of
think, I
safe
think,
ways to get it
yeah,
into space,
I
even
think
if it explodes.
we may need Nick Bolt on this one. He's got the mind for the
Well, look at it this
physics.
way. Even without Nick Bolt, like how about when we send astronauts up into space? Yeah, some
Yeah,
have blown up, but what have we done today? We have a system that literally, if it detects there's an issue with the rocket, it just boom, that section of the
yeah,
rocket is removed and it
but
flies off
you're
to
talking.
safety.
Okay, but what you're talking about is sending nuclear waste into space.
I think it
If
sounds worse than it is, honestly.
okay, if the rocket explodes in our atmosphere, we've got no way of cleaning up from our atmosphere, have we?
No, you're absolutely screwed. I agree with it. That is the worst case scenario, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's
but
a horrible
you've got
idea
yeah,
to
but you've got to
get it
think
off
of
planet. Just how
but
you
when
do
you
it.
do things like this, when you do things like you've got to think of the worst possible scenario
Of
and think, is
course,
it
of
worth the
course.
cost?
So where I'm at with that is, again, when you have a nuclear weapon, and I mean these things, you can literally have the weapon absolutely explode, and
But it's
that
not a
nuclear
weapon. It's
part is
yeah,
okay.
I'm not.
Fair enough.
It's
But
yeah,
I understand what you're saying because you have to get it to go critical and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, there are protections in place where it is like near impossible to infect the nuclear part, even if the rocket fails. So you're telling me we can't, use those methods to get it, to keep it safe if something did go wrong with the rocket? I mean,
okay,
I
okay,
refuse to
but
believe that you can't do that.
yeah, but Mr. P, what's been happening to Musk's rockets?
They've been flying pretty well, except for the test
Have,
ones, which
have,
are meant to explode.
have they? But didn't they have one that exploded?
That's intentional.
Was
They
it
have to have
intentional?
that. Yes, of course it was. So they didn't expect it to even do what it did. All they're doing is collecting data. They're just
Okay,
saying, okay, hey, we want to test it, and when
yeah.
it fails, how does it fail? Why does it fail? So then the next one, they can implement the changes they need to. It's a process. They need
Yep.
it to explode in order to learn.
Okay, Mr. P, we've got the physics professor in. Shall we invite him up?
Thank God. I'm stepping aside, letting him, please. Nick, I'm dying over here, man. Help me out.
Yeah. He'll know a bit more about this subject than us
Oh,
mere
absolutely.
mortals.
Yeah, I'll keep talking about solar panel sales and door to
And I'll
door
keep I'll keep talking about pulling my own piada.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody give that man a microphone, for the love of God.
Yeah. And Liz will just keep on making noises like she's telling me off.
Yeah, and I can't see what Laura's saying, but I know, I have a feeling she's like typing up a storm in the comments. I don't know what she's saying,
Yeah.
but I know when I speak, it drives her freaking crazy, even though she likes me. So I'm not sure why
That's
she
the
does,
thing,
but
though. Having a debate and talking about these things, whether you're on one side or the other, finding that middle ground that everybody can kind of come away from the table and go, hey, I kind of understand where they're coming from is a
Yeah.
great thing.
oh, I know, and it's like we can't do it today. That's the problem.
We
Nobody can
are.
do it
We
without.
are
No,
actually
we
doing
are.
it.
We are. Yes, but I find most people I engage with are unable to do it without getting really upset. So it's nice to be sitting with a group of people that are able to do it intellectually. So I appreciate
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, in a calm way too. Everybody can have an opinion, and as long as you express that opinion in the right way,
100%,
you
man.
know.
Is Nick feeling froggy? Does he want to come up, or is he?
Well, I put the link down. Yep, we need to
Let's
actually
see. Oh, I'm looking at the comments. There it is. Laura,
yeah,
Laura, 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 Laura,
yeah,
Laura. See, I didn't even look. I didn't even look. I knew it.
yeah.
Oh,
Laura's
good.
agreeing.
I wish she would come up
Yeah.
here. She's got a great perspective. I'm not sure why she's not
Oh,
on panel.
yeah, but she doesn't. I don't think she comes up because she'll want to fight Nightbot. If I put a Nightbot on, she'll fight with Nightbot.
Oh, so we got to distract her with Nightbot, is what you're saying?
You wouldn't have
Yeah,
to fight
yeah,
Nightbot up here on the
Yeah.
panel, though.
Just
That's
get
up
like
there in
yeah.
a
the
little
chat.
get a little MAGA Nightbot, and she'll go ham on that thing.
Mm.
I might as well. I'm supposed to tell you, Mr. P, that
Yes.
Laura has been agreeing with you
Yes,
Really?
she
on a
really
lot of
has. Yeah,
things. Yeah.
Now that is freaking.
yeah.
Now I don't know if I should sit down for that again. One more time. What did you say?
You were being agreed with.
Yeah,
Wow.
don't be an
All
arsehole
right.
about this. You've been
No, I
told
know.
more than
I
once.
had to. I had to. And I had to make her regret it a little bit too. So, but no,
I
I'm
think
Yeah.
glad because Laura's very intelligent. So if she agrees with me, that means
Oh,
I'm
yeah, hundred
not making
percent.
a fool of
Yeah.
myself.
Oh no,
So,
you're not, man. You're cool.
but that's great. All right. So we
You
giving
know.
up on the nuclear? We're giving up on shooting nuclear items into space. Is that we just agree to disagree there?
We're trying to get Nick on to have his opinion, but he's not here. He is here, but he's not answering. So for
Yeah,
fuck's sake,
it's
Nick,
all good.
come up. Yeah,
Well,
come up.
we can come back to this unless
Yeah,
anyone else wants to add to what I'm saying.
yeah. To
I
come back, come on, because we'll have to beat you if you don't.
yeah
I don't think there's, at this point in time, I don't think it's going to be necessary to shoot it off into space. Until it becomes that, hopefully there'll be more more protections in place.
Can I just
so
shoot a
can you
rock?
elaborate on that? Can you elaborate on that? Why you say that? Sorry,
Because
man.
so far, the containment that we have been utilizing for nuclear waste has held, and there's still capacity to grow in them for now. And until we're getting to a tipping point, um, you figure like rocket labs and things like that, they've been doing some of the cargo missions, and they have been building like a
Yes,
fleet of rockets and stuff that are
exactly.
better prepared and monitored for things like this. But at the same token, if we send it off into space, where are we sending it to? We're just going to let it float out in space?
Yeah, I wouldn't say just float. I would pick a trajectory. I mean, we put a couple of satellites in the 70s, and they were directed outward, and they continue to go outward. They even passed the magnetic reach of the sun, and they're still going. So it's not impossible, obviously, and they're even powered by nuclear. Um, so I mean, that's my thing would be just to get them in a containment that's able to keep going outward. And if we piss somebody off in space, then we'll know there's definitely life, which is also not a bad thing. So I say,
I'm
outward. That's where we go.
Are we
Outward.
looking for one of the moons off a planet to maybe set a destination to? I mean,
I wouldn't land it. I wouldn't land it. I would just keep it going. I would just keep it going outward.
don't we have
For
enough
years and years and
garbage
years.
spinning around our space as it is, and they
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what is
Oh,
it,
move all the
I
time?
would not. I would not keep it here. I would say onward and
Mr.
outward.
Mr. P? What if some
Yes, sir.
alien took that out and took that as declaration of war?
Well, it's a bad thing, but I think it's equally a good thing. We'll say, hey, we're dumb, sorry, but glad to know you're here. I would
Can I
personally.
just blame you? And when they say take me to your leader, I'll take you to you.
All right, whatever. We just won't shoot the freaking stuff into space. All right, you win. Just keep burying the shit, okay?
I am hoping
then
that one day all that buried shit, somebody will find a way to recycle it. How's that?
Recycle it.
yeah.
I mean, it's
Then
still
you
it's still
then
warm, isn't it? I don't know why we even get rid of it. Is it lethal in its state when it quote unquote expires?
what's that?
Contamination, yeah.
It is
Contamination.
so.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And also it's what you could use to make nuclear weapons.
'Cause, I mean, I feel like there's still. I mean, if it's leaking and there's contamination, there's also still energy left. So it's like, why are we burying it? I mean, I'm not an
Oh, it's not
expert, so I'm
energy. No,
asking.
the energy comes from the steam.
Right, I know, but I'm saying if there's still heat coming off of the nuclear stuff that we're burying, why aren't we? Don't we continue to use it? I don't know. I'm not an expert in.
Because it would be cause a meltdown.
Yeah, it becomes unstable.
Okay, it's unstable. Got
Yeah,
it. Got it. Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Did you not watch Chernobyl?
I did. I mean, I was a little distracted by people melting in front of me, but I didn't get the science of it. It was more like the drama. But yeah, no, I've seen a meltdown. It's absolutely horrible.
Well,
And
that led
also watched what
into
happened in, was it Japan or China? Where did I forget where we had a recent
Fu
meltdown.
with the tsunami.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Flooded and all hell broke loose.
I have questions about that too because we're still finding partially people's feet washing up on beaches on the west coast.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why.
That's weird.
Yeah, people's feet and shoes.
It's like, oh, look, a fish. Oh no, it's a foot.
It's a foot and a shoe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
horrible.
They've got that over here too, Liz.
Really?
Yeah,
How many people could
yeah.
go missing in the ocean without other people knowing about it?
Well, it is. Was it? I'm sorry. Was it Japan or China? I feel bad not knowing, but I think it's Japan, but I could be wrong.
No, it was Japan who had the nuclear.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they're less communist, but well, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of it was covered up. They don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
It's
you
probably a
just
lot
said
worse than we think
communist, and
too.
then I thought, oh my goodness, North Korea? Are they trying to swim their way out of there?
No, no, I said they're not really communist. So it's
Okay,
please, I don't think Japan's a communist. Do not take that on
yeah.
record, please.
No, no,
Thank
Guys,
no,
you.
we
no.
got
I said North Korea.
Wait,
I said
where did the
North
explosion
Korea.
happen?
It happened in Japan, but then we
All right,
brought up
good.
the
Okay.
feet and in the shoes, and I said, well, is that people trying to flee North Korea?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I thought you were
Okay.
saying that people exploded and their feet are coming ashore.
No,
Okay,
I
guys. I
misread that.
don't know if OG Liz is trying to be funny, but she's nuking some meatloaf at the moment.
Jesus. Can you see that? How do you know that? That's crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
welcome back, OG Liz.
yeah,
Oh, G Liz. Got it. All right. I was
yeah,
very confused there. There's too many Liz's
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. That we call it flaky with OG Liz, and of course we've got Liz over here too.
Good Liz. Oh, Laura is defining one of the Liz's as good Liz. That's cool. Good Ferrari. Anyways, where were we? What was the last thing before we got into the nuclear? Oh, renewable energy. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the thing about nuclear energy, and this is kind of what like I'm talking about, it's more theoretical, but they're actually and it's not just. I'm really ignorant when it comes to nuclear energy, but there's like two types. There's like fusion and fission, and I believe we use fusion currently, or is it fission? I don't know which one we use, but the one that we use, we want to use the other one, and the other one is supposedly, not the same waste issue, and we're able to get a lot of energy from that without having a lot of nuclear waste, and theoretically it will go not forever, but for a very, very long time. So, if they're making a lot of headway in, figuring out how to produce power that way. So I don't think we're far from kind of cracking the code, so to speak, and having something that's going to really just take solar out of the game. I mean, that's kind of where I'm like, solar is like almost like just a holdover until we figure out how to make unlimited energy, essentially.
Okay.
You can use hydrogen, which is like, we got plenty of hydrogen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Does that make sense, or am I getting too deep here?
Oh no, that's what this whole thing's about. But have a discussion, then afterwards have a laugh. So, but I think we can cut short about the cost of living. I think we've discussed this, and it's leading down different paths. But it has been interesting on hearing different points of view on it.
Because we can't just stick to one topic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
But it does though. When you're talking about the cost of living crisis, it has everything, including with energy too. So it's going to lead off into little trails, and more we go down these trails, the more we're going to lose the actual title of the conversation. But maybe that's a
Exactly.
good thing,
Okay, but
And it's
my question on this topic, what are you doing in your life to help offset some of those costs that have affected you?
I am doing absolutely nothing because I don't drive, so I don't need to spend money on fuel. I use my
Okay,
bus
but what
pass. I because I'm a chef, I do batch cooking. So it cuts down some of the food wastage and cost. And I started putting money away for saving.
Okay.
And I do care about what packages I buy from. Why do shops need to send like 8 bags of shopping for like 20 items? You know, I try to recycle my plastic bags. Whenever the shop gives me plastic bags, I generally tend to use them for rubbish. I do recycling now myself, so most of my stuff is recyclable, so I put that in the recyclable bin.
A lot of good answers, man.
Hmm.
what about you, Mr. P? Is there anything you guys have changed?
I wish I went first. So, I mean, really, I feel like we're just kind of getting caught. Hold on, my wife's on another panel here. Give me a second. All right.
Okay.
So, I think we're kind of getting swept into the economy in the sense where, like, instead of just buying, stuff at like a regular store, like Stop and Shop or, whatever other stores around here, we're doing a lot of the shopping at not Costco, but the other one there. Whatever. It's like one of those, where you buy in bulk. So we're changing the way that we shop in an attempt to, get more for our dollar. Because it's just you can't keep up. So I'm not buying a little thing of cereal. I'm buying like a big freaking thing of cereal that I can live on for like 3 months. What were you saying?
I thought you just said that. I thought you were going to say Ferrari. I thought, how the fuck is that keeping with the cost of living crisis?
No, I'm not doing that well. And if I was, I still wouldn't buy a Ferrari. But
I would.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably that's like a when I'm really old and I'm like, all right, I feel like I'm gonna die and I want to have some fun. Like that's the car I buy then. But I'm not. I
Oh,
don't really need a Ferrari while I'm still working and building an empire. But anyways,
okay, fair enough. All right there,
I
Richard.
mean, yeah, I mean, I don't have the ability to have an electric car, so we drive a very fuel efficient car that gets almost 40 miles to the gallon. We do a shitload of recycling. Most of that is led by Samantha. I'll probably throw away most of the recycling, and she, scolds me and make
Yeah.
sure it gets in the right, in the recycling bin. Um, I mean, that's really all we do. I mean, I don't work for a company. I don't know if this counts, but I have my own small business in which I run an insurance, company through. So it's basically, I'm not participating in low wage pay. I'm creating my own income by, the effort that I put into it.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so, I mean, I'm trying to have a small business, even though it's very difficult. And I mean, that's really it. We're not wasting. We're really making sure we use everything to the fullest and not just throw stuff away and, you know, be wasteful. It's
I know what
really,
I mean. So,
really
Liz,
the,
are you
crux
going
of
to
it.
answer your own question?
I,
What was the question? Did I
what are you
fuck that
doing
up?
now? No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. He was asking if I was going to answer the same question.
Yes.
Oh,
Is
I
she
thought you
going to
said you're
what?
going to answer the right question. I was like, oh,
No, no.
did I answer the wrong
Is she
question?
going to answer her own question?
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
I've always been very frugal. The recycling thing I started years ago. So, um, we try not to drive as much. When we bought cars, we went in going fuel efficiency, knowing that things could change down the line. So, I'm such a tightwad as it is. So, I mean,
It's fair enough.
where I would be frivolous with a little money buying and purchasing new things, I've always stopped and thought about it. So now it sits in my cart until it goes on sale.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
100%.
So I'm going to close the discussion, but not the channel, because after the discussion, I just want a free for all where everybody can have a laugh. But I'll make a conclusion if I can. As we've discussed, the cost of living crisis is more deep rooted in politics and economic politics is something that's been a natural progression, which nobody has tried to stop. They all knew it was going to happen. I think this is my own personal opinion. We should have been probably invested more into other energies, into more renewable sources that maybe would have, and also different ways of farming too. I think
Oh
if
man,
we forgot
farming. We
about
didn't cover
that,
farming.
yeah, we didn't
Jesus,
cover
that's a
farming,
big
but
one.
yeah, but we may have to cover this again to get down to the problems. But you know what? It's been fascinating to hear everybody's different opinion about this. You know?
Well, speaking of farming, there are quite a few farming channels on YouTube. So you can actually see behind the scenes what's
Oh
going
yeah.
on, how they're upgrading their facilities, and it's like,
I
wow.
mean, I've got a friend as a farmer. I don't know if he'd want to come on and chat, but you know, we could.
Yeah.
I could always ask him for his opinion.
Oh my God, farming is such a big thing, and that's been a huge
Mm,
economical mistake by the country. It's at least
yeah.
in the U.S. Basically killing local farmers, same as Amazon and big companies kill smaller businesses. You have major corporations farming getting subsidies, and they're knocking out farms where they're just barely making it and have to just eventually give up. Why
Mm,
we have the American dream is to have a lawn will always baffle me. Why are you not using that to grow your own food? I mean, like literally, you have a
yeah.
patch
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sunny
Yeah.
grass and you're using that to grow something you cannot use and you're putting money
No.
into it. It's like, what
Exactly.
the F?
But
So
I
that
do
always
have a
Exactly.
lawn.
Is
drives me nuts.
okay.
I
So
ripped.
I could. Sorry, Liz. Carry on.
I was gonna say we don't have a lawn though. We ripped all of ours out and replaced it either with um, rock, where it's where it's got a few little planted shrubbery things in there that I can't kill, or we've gone with the artificial turf, like in the backyard and stuff. But no, we
Okay.
have no living grass anymore.
So, do you think government should say to people what the government said over here in Britain in World War Two? And they actually said dig for victory, and they made people build mini allotments in their back gardens.
Yeah,
I
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
I was going to say in 2020, the rise of the Victory Garden has exploded again. There
Oh,
are
you called it victory
homesteaders.
gardens. Sorry,
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
yeah we was just we had posters in I know this because of World War Two and because I'm a child of the '70s. We still had the old World War Two mindset then, in Britain. Because we grew up with people who fought in the war, and we know there's more people about who fought in the war in the '70s and
Yeah,
the '80s.
yeah. You figure you figure during World War II, the rise of the Victory Garden started happening, and then it's
Yeah,
progressed to each other stage. Um, like you can see, there's a ton of homesteaders now, even on YouTube, showcasing what they're doing and what works in their area, so others can build upon what they've learned in their area.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Well, as
definitely.
I
I think
said,
people are seeing the value for sure. Go ahead,
yeah.
Paul.
I, as I said, it's been a brilliant discussion. I think where discussion ends, and we can all have a bit of fun and just like hearted chat, and
For sure.
you
Yeah.
know,
No,
it's been brilliant to
I'd
have the.
continue this again if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
can always be continued, and hopefully, if I speak to my mate, we see if we can get him on board.
For sure.
You know, it'll be because he's like a farmer, and he's also a livestock farmer too.
Absolutely.
So hopefully I could get it. But thank you all for having this discussion. It's been brilliant to hear people's different point of view, and on the chat, it's been good to see people different and people disagreeing. I don't want a channel where everybody agrees. I want some fight back
Yeah. No, I'm your
because that's what
token
it's all about.
conservative. So
Yeah,
I.
I know. When you say token, I always think of South Park.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Exactly.
I
Oh, they
really
do a
don't
good
know.
job.
But are you
They really
really
do.
conservative?
That's a great
Or are you
point.
more moderate?
I'm definitely so. The problem is the Overton window has shifted so far that I've become a conservative. But I'm actually more of in the past I'd be a moderate liberal. But now the
Okay,
points that
guys.
I move forward with
Yeah.
are definitely moderate conservative. But
Okay.
yeah,
I
just
don't
to
This
answer
believe
your
in
could
the
question.
be
Overton window.
yeah.
Fair
Politics
enough,
is something we'll discuss later on. But
for sure. But thanks for
thanks
having
for
us,
having a
Paul. This has
chat.
been a great stream.
I know I'm not ending the stream, mate. We're just having a light-hearted chat, mate. Now,
No,
He
no, I'm
needs to
saying this
get
was a
his
great.
perv on.
yeah.
I'm saying
Oh,
it's a
cool.
great stream, man. I think he hosted an awesome discussion.
This what the channel's all about: trying to hold discussions and then having a good laugh afterwards.
For
No
sure.
drama, no nothing, no orangutan titties, no nothing like that.
Yes. No.
Nah.
Please, no orangutan titties. I cannot see any
Yeah.
more of those. Got my
Yeah.
serving of orangutan titties in the last 48 hours.
Ay, ay, ay.
So you'll get make Liz ban me off my own channel, mate. That's your fault.
Boys, behave.
See, the voice of reason does it. Okay, look, I'm gonna wash my hands, but please carry on having a chat.
For
All right, I'll
sure.
speak
Oh,
soon.
gee. Term limits. I think everybody can agree to certain term limits.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're without, giving any private information or self-doxing, where are you from, generally speaking, Liz?
I am California West Coast.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm over in Connecticut. The opposite side.
But, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, my
Oh
whole
no, I'm
thing
just
is.
telling you where I am.
Yeah, no, no, no. No, I understood that.
Yep.
I've seen you on other panels.
Oh God, that's embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing.
I'm just messing. Yeah.
Just like the Overton window, I just don't believe the shift is that great. I think there are extremes on both sides, and those of us who are in the middle can take item by item and go,
For sure.
okay, we can work with this.
Yeah, I mean, whether you agree with it or don't agree with the shift, I mean, at the end of the day, whoever sits within the Overton window, so to speak, is considered logical to begin with. which is there's reasons why people should go to the outer ends, but for the most part, if you can exist within close to the wherever the line is, at least you're able to hear both sides, which is I'd like to see eventually for the rest of for everybody, if they can ever get to that point.
I think the vast majority of us can. It's
Absolutely.
the ones who are the vocal minorities who get the press
Yeah.
coverage that
Right.
pisses everybody else off, and it's like, wait, we're having these conversations.
Right.
Why aren't you guys having these conversations, coming together, sitting down, and working it out?
Are you a fan of NPR?
I'm a fan of all media. I'm
Okay,
not
interesting.
stuck on one thing or the other. They all have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
They're extremist in everything.
So I'm actually I'm actually the
Fabulous.
opposite. I'm not a fan of media. I feel like media has been hijacked and is no longer doing its job. Uh, and I brought up NPR specifically because I used to love NPR. I just keep that on lock for forever. And now I feel like I can't listen to it because I don't feel like they're no longer just doing their job anymore. They're just picking a side and reporting as they're supposed to, getting in line, following orders, which has really bothered me actually.
But my question to you on that point then would be: are you listening to the commentary part of it? Or are you listening to just the news part of it?
Right.
Because so many
So
of the media companies have gone with these
narrative.
commentary,
Oh,
personality driven.
right.
I'm going to call it bullshit. I'm going to call it bullshit on both
Yeah.
sides, on
Oh,
all
oh,
sides.
100%, 100%.
And it's like, go back to just being 24-hour news.
Yeah.
Report the news.
Report the news. Just bring the facts and let the rest. You can have people have opinions, obviously, but why is it almost all opinion? It feels like. I don't know. I'm really disappointed with media. I feel like they're facilitating the push of extremes, if anything, which is.
I think
But
we
to answer
will
your question, I do
see.
listen to the commentary, um, and it's
Yeah,
nice
and
that
I
they
don't.
do have a little bit of both sides. But I feel like even there, like, okay, here's the conservative view, here's the other view. I feel like they're still not really truly representative of the opinions that they're supposed to have or supposed to represent. That's my feeling. But I have a big problem with the media.
But
Big problem.
but the commentary or opinion driven media on those, they pick a side and stick to it no matter what. And it's like
Correct.
there's never a compromise. And it's like, so I just, if it's somebody else's opinion, I don't want your opinion, because I know that media has always been, if it bleeds, it leads.
Right. Exactly.
And where's the retractions when you screw up?
Hmm.
Where's all that? Where's the accountability for that? I do see that more in a oh, are we?
What?
We're
Okay, yeah,
having a
but
conversation.
I'm gonna block him.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
he's
I was
Okay.
gonna
blocked.
let
Yeah, I
him. I
see.
was gonna ask what he was.
No, I don't have any time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
I
it's
did say
funny.
mean,
when
I don't know if it's going to change, but the Twitter, believe it or not, I don't know if, there's been a change of the guard, but Twitter recently, I believe, has been actually a great media source that I've been using to figure out when things happen. And I find that I find out about stuff way before I really hear it in the echo chamber on Twitter, and you can choose to have your sources there as well. But I find out like stuff way before I hear it as it becomes sensationalized on Twitter now than I ever have, and that's been recent. Um, I've really enjoyed that.
see, and I've been on Twitter forever, so it's there's extremes in it. Not a lot of linking to
Oh,
sources
100%.
though, and that
Right.
is
okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna jump in here.
Please.
If anybody comes in, it's always polite to say hello or hi. I will not take any swearing or that bullshit what that person said. You
Yeah,
automatically get banned.
yeah,
There's no need for that. There's no need to be rude. You're very welcome to come in here and chill out. Politeness is the main key with me.
agreed.
I was hoping they were going to expound upon what they were trying to figure out here.
I really wasn't Liz. I didn't care.
And
Yeah,
here, I'm the mean one?
Yeah, I just didn't really care for that. He came in abusive, so that's a no-no.
yeah, definitely.
And especially what was been going on these last couple of weeks on this YouTube street, virtual YouTube street.
Well,
You know,
it's just a sign that you're making some waves when you have trolls come in. So good job, Paul.
yeah, man. Thank you. My
Whatever,
first
dude.
troll. Oh, yeah. Don't start this.
Yay. I
I
meant
don't want you
whatever to
to.
them.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't want you
clapping
to have
at
to get rid of
you.
you. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. My mistake. Please forgive me.
Now he totally
Mhm.
sidetracked what we were talking about.
If
I
it's
don't
sex,
remember now.
drums, and
Forget
rock
it.
and roll, I'll be greatly disappointed.
It wasn't at that point.
Okay, well, I'm disappointed.
We were trying to find common ground between the political spectrums because
Okay,
I think more people are more middle ground than extremists on either side.
yeah. Okay, I'm mid fence. I sit on the fence quite a lot about political. I used to be, do you know, I in my younger days, and Laura appreciate this. I used to be heavily into Labour socialist militants.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, in my younger days, yeah.
So
But I
you're
think
saying you're
society.
not like that now?
No, I'm coming a grumpy bastard now.
Okay. I
I
think we
think
all
you
make
like
that
that.
kind of progression at some point,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
But okay, but we see this with every generation where the older ones tend to become more conservative in their
Why do
views.
you think that is?
I don't know because I've actually gotten more liberal as
Yeah,
I've gotten
no,
older.
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah. Well,
Paul, do you have any idea why you're kind of getting the way that you are? I mean, is there just life experience? Why do you feel that way?
because I'm a miserable cunt sometimes.
Aside from adjectives, is there is there an actual reason behind the adjectives that you just used?
Well, when you're younger, you're futuristic when you're younger. If you get my
Okay,
meaning, you think for the future,
yeah,
don't you?
of course.
You know. And when you get older, you see that everything you thought that may happen basically gets turned to shit, and you just think, "Wow, what's the point?"
Okay, so that's a very negative point of view, but I know Liz was about to say something, so I'll let her respond.
I was just going to be, my God, you're a pessimist.
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah,
at all because, I mean, I know none of us are getting out alive. So whatever we're doing now, whether it be one side of the aisle or the other, is hopefully building something better for the next generations.
And
right.
Liz is going to give my next TED talk about suicide prevention.
Yes, I think she'd be fantastic at it.
I,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I broke Liz.
I don't know if everybody knows or not, but I have survived cancer. I
Yeah,
mean,
that is very
Wow.
true. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I can kick cancer's ass, and if it comes back or whatever, and I'll do it again. So I mean, anything I do moving forward, they're going to. I'm an experiment for somebody else to hopefully be treated, you know, better. They're going to have different treatment options for them. But not only that, in the world, I hope that whatever I put out there can be built upon for the future generations. You know,
So I know Paul's. I don't know Paul's history, as well as I will probably eventually when I continue to talk to him. But I have an idea, Cliff Notes version of what's happened in his life. Liz, like just kind of a similar, summary. Like, getting to this point, what was your basic history starting from like, when you were in school and then where you are now? What's that journey been like for you?
was that Paul or for myself?
Excuse me. This was for Paul. For yourself, Liz. Excuse me.
Oh, I grew up, well, my father passed away when we were young. So then I acquired a stepfather who then was not the nicest person in the world. And it also made my mother not the nicest person in the world either. So I just didn't want to be them. So I try to see people better than they are, and I give chances. So, I'd rather see rainbows and butterflies, but I know that there's going to be thunderstorms, and it's just making the best of what you can.
So expanding upon that, like, in terms of your either career or non-career, have you that kind of like negativity that you've seen earlier in life, and you translated that into positivity? Has that helped you in your career and being successful, or is that not important to you?
Oh, that was very important to me. At work, I used to be known as Bubbles for a long time. I would try to be
Gotcha.
the hang on, sorry, puppy choking. I tried to be the positive influence. It was easier to be the positive influence because why be miserable? It's not fun being miserable. So, and then as I advanced and things like that, and as a woman in a quote unquote man's job for a long time, I fought the stereotypes. So it was easier to be nice than to be a bitch until I had to be a bitch. And then it was all game over. So, you know, it's just easier to be nice.
But has that translated into financial or success, or success in your career? Has it translated into what you deem as being successful, or are you happy with the results, so to speak?
Oh, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, because I've gone through from working as a cleanup kid on construction sites up to project management for multi-million dollar companies, where that transitioned into um, more of like HR management, and then
Okay.
into HR and then accounting as well for that. Because when that all started transitioning, you didn't need the degrees for that unless you were doing like tax preparation. So I didn't need the college degrees that I ended up getting later in life. So, you know, I didn't have the struggles a lot of people did when they were younger, trying to pay off the loans that the poor kids are doing now.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And then Paul, like in comparison, I mean, how would you say like you compare to that? Again, generally speaking, you don't have to get into all the itty bitty details, but like, comparing yourself to Liz, like how would you say, coming from being younger and having a certain outlook on life, and then where you are now, what's that journey been like for you?
It's been a bit difficult actually because I haven't had the easiest of journeys. Liz has been um, Liz has been worse than me, but my own path. I got married rather stupidly young. I broke up rather stupidly young. I've lived away with family, but not with my immediate family, but I lived with my aunt in Scotland. Um, there, I had to do a load of growing up because I lived in a big city. So I managed to do some youth work, and I picked up an award that only like about 200 odd people in Glasgow have got. I came back down, and I just couldn't settle. So I've been traveling around, doing jobs, taking living jobs. I've never really had a place on my own because I just couldn't settle.
Like, what do you think that something growing up affected that, or kind of put you on that path, or is there
Well,
something that drives you to kind of live like you just described?
well, my old man used to pick on me and he used to hit me, and I
Okay,
caught him hitting my mum, and I stood in the way to take my mum, and he used to beat me for helping my mum. That
okay,
carried on until I was in my 20s, and he forgot one thing though, that I sort of grew bigger than him and bigger in height, and he went and tried to hit me once, and I picked him up and threw him 2 or 3 foot.
okay, gotcha.
Uh,
See, that was kind of
yeah,
probably a
so
traumatic experience too, I would say.
uh, yeah, I mean, it didn't. Yeah, sort of. I mean, affected me then. It doesn't affect me now. I had to watch. I was working away in Scotland, and I came back home, and I found out my dad left my mum with absolutely nothing, and so I stayed there, and I had to watch my own mother pass away in front of me. I had to turn off the machine. I got treated. I got made the black sheep of the family, and they put round lies about me which weren't true. And I'd been moving around, and then I ended up having heart failure, and I found out I need a major operation, which sort of I sort of took a mini breakdown, and still
Right.
trying to get back out of that breakdown. And that's why the podcasts are there for about mental health.
Sure.
If you see on the channel,
Yeah. No.
and
Absolutely.
now yeah, and now I'm taking up a university course. All right, it may be Open University, but it's still a university course, it's still accredited university. And I'm looking to other ways of furthering myself by doing further educational courses. So I'm try to better myself by doing all this.
Yeah. So I mean, and I don't know if sometimes it helps to listen to, like I listen to a lot of the panels that I'm on because it's like the way I think I sound and the way that I
Hmm.
actually sound tend to be two different things. But it's interesting
Yeah.
if you listen to
Yes.
this over, the contrast between you and Liz. You guys are obviously friendly with each other, but you guys are very different in the way that you came up. So it makes a lot of sense how you come up with the perspective that you have, Paul, and the perspective that
Hmm.
you have, Liz, are so contrasting because your journeys are different. Liz
Yeah.
describes a lot of these things as things that she's conquered and adversity that she's been able to get through. You describe them more as things that have happened to you that have kind of bounced you into a certain direction that you're still battling today. So the perspective difference is really stark, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the way that we see our upbringing, see the problems that are in front of us, and how we deal with them. Is going to yield a huge perspective into the way that we grow up and the way that we see the world. And I think
Yeah.
this is a really obvious example of that. You know what I mean?
And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping more people will join. Obviously, more people join this channel here, and we can get larger, more people involved in the live chat. And I know, I wish that could happen now, but I know it doesn't. If you get my meaning.
Oh, it takes it. A lot of the people that are
Yeah,
having success right now have been doing it for years, man.
yeah.
It's not. It
But
doesn't
when
just.
yeah, when you do things like this, you just dream of making it big, and you just want it to happen now. But I know it's not going to happen, and I know it may not be turned big. I just wish that some people join, and join more in the chat too. It'd be good to see.
Well, right, and the other thing with that, Paul, is that a lot of the people that
Mm.
are in a drama community.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Yeah.
and then you're saying, hey, no drama. So you're essentially, the connections that you're making, you're essentially saying, hey, we don't bring that here. Be different and come here. So, my suggestion would be to branch out into more folks that are having conversations like you and participate in them on those panels to bring
Well,
more focus to your
yeah,
channel. If you haven't
yeah.
already, I'm sure you have, you know.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I've reached out to some person and they haven't answered back, and I thought, oh well, I'm not going to mention no names because that'd be very rude and very disrespectful, which I'm not.
Right.
You know.
But my
But
main point in talking to you both, and because you have so different perspectives, I think that has a lot to do with the way that come to like even a political opinion or an economic opinion is based on the experience that you have. Liz has worked
mm,
in, she's had a, and this is, and before I even get into that, we can also stop if you want to keep joking around, Paul. But the last thing I wanted to really make is that, you had, a really rough experience with your parents, right? I mean, it wasn't just
mm,
bad parenting; it was rough. You watched your dad, essentially abuse your mom. That has a huge impact, on your the way that you think. Uh, Liz, correct me if I'm wrong. Your father wasn't with the. I'm sorry. Did you say he passed away, or he just wasn't around? I apologize.
No, my father passed away when I was a very young child, and then my
yeah.
stepfather. So,
Right. So you probably, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you have kind of you probably remember your dad fondly if you can remember him at all, but you look upon, like, your dad did nothing wrong. Your stepdad, you see as not being very nice, but you moved on from that. So, but he wasn't abusing your mom, I think, right? Am I right or wrong about that?
there were instances,
But it
but
wasn't egregious and it wasn't chronic or anything.
the verbal, oh, the
I
verbal
don't
and the
know.
mental was horrible.
Okay, so it was really bad.
I look back at that and I think, how did any of us turn out even semi okay?
Right, I know, but it's funny that I've actually noticed more people seem to rise above this stuff with having really bad parents than having one parent per se. It's just something about having both parents. It brings a perspective where you see how they are, and then you form an opinion on how you want to be. And without having that, one of the parents in your life, whether it be having your mother and not your father, or vice versa, that really can actually limit you in your ability to form as a fully developed adult because you're lacking a massive perspective there. Um, yeah, and that can go both ways. Your parents can be really nice and tell you you're the best at everything, and you grow up thinking you're awesome when in fact you're not. Or your parents can tell you you're terrible at everything, and then you overachieve because of that. So I think it's fascinating how growing up with your whatever your parental situation is has such an impact on the way that you view the world, even as an adult. Decades later.
But I mean, that goes to psychology right now. Still the nature versus nurture. I mean, that's still there's no one set guideline for any one person.
No, no, not at all. It's more
So,
of like averages, if anything. But I'm just seeing a real a relationship with having both parents, good or bad, versus not having like having a father that tells you or abuses you, or you feel you have to you know uh, quarrel with or fight with, is going to really impact the way that you are as a man. If you're a boy, if you're a girl, you're going to see that a lot differently. You're going to more try to emulate your mother, whether it be being the opposite or being just like her, depending on how you view her. Having only one parent, though, is like I feel like is almost detrimental in some degrees. Unless you have a mentor, somebody that ends up replacing that person. So if you lose your father and you have a good mentor who shows you how to get through the world and do things that you don't know how to do, that's gonna help curve whatever the your trajectory was without the mentor. So it's just, I find that topic very, very interesting. Um, Me personally, because I've seen it on both sides. I've seen good parents turn out drug addicts, and I've seen bad parents turn out politicians or successful owners of businesses. It's fascinating to me.
I think it's just human nature. I think that some people get it and some people won't. And some of us make the best of a bad situation and others kind of dwell on it. And it may bog them down. I mean, I I am a huge podcast listener too. I love
Mm,
podcasts and especially true crime. And I think I know a lot of women that are as well, weirdly.
okay.
I think it's cautionary tales for women. We
Right.
take these things as, hey, don't do this because of that. Um,
Yeah. Good point.
whereas men are like, I'm just going to beat the crap out of somebody. And it's a woman's going to have to think about how she's going to beat the crap out of somebody.
You're talking about like not necessarily being abusive, but fighting through a situation. Is that what you mean?
Well, both.
Okay.
I mean, think about my question to all men is why do you think women go to the bathroom in groups?
Uh, I never really thought about it. I imagine it's to talk about what's happening, like socially.
I
So like,
it's the stuff videos are made of.
It's no pack mentality for women. There's safety in numbers.
There's you just destroyed my fantasy. So
I'm
why you destroyed my
sorry.
fantasy?
I'm
it's a great
sorry.
point, Liz. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Um, Guys are like, oh my god, why do I have to go up and talk to this woman with all her friends? Because it's safer as a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you women are so mean.
We can be.
Ah.
We
Yeah.
absolutely. Everything you men think that women are, no. We can be
You've always got that.
vicious.
Yep, you've always got that ratchet friend. That person will go up and go, you're not good enough for her. No, 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 don't you go talking to her, mate. No, no, no. You talk to us. You talk to us first, mate. We want to find out more about you before you go and talk to her. Time you go and talk to her, you look and go, is it worth the fucking bother?
It is. It is because if you get past that friend, you get to meet all the friends.
Yeah, but then the friend goes, he ain't good enough for you, love. Look at him, look at him, look at him there. He's got no job. Yeah, he's got no job there. Where's he working? McDonald's. McDonald's, that ain't no job. That ain't no living. Come on, yeah.
Well, that
What's he
woman you don't want to
drinking?
be.
Yeah.
If you've got a
What's
that
he
woman,
drinking? Look at
run
him.
from.
Yeah. Yeah, what is he drinking? Look at him beer. That's a cheap beer, that is. He doesn't go out and buy you things. Oh, no, what did you buy him? Oh, what you,
Why do you think that is, Paul?
Because there's always that
Sir
one
Paul.
crazy friend.
I was
There's
that
always
one
the.
crazy friend.
I believe that, Liz.
I was the mom of the group. I wasn't.
That
I
makes
wasn't
sense,
as
actually. I
crazy
believe
as
that.
as as all of that, but it would be like, hey, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
And
And
okay.
then listen intently. But like, correct me if I'm wrong, Liz. Like, it's not wrong for women to try to find somebody that maybe not isn't perfect up front, but has the potential, to keep growing and changing. But at the end of the day, you're looking to find somebody that's going to take care of you. Unless you just say, hey, I want to take care of myself and bring somebody along. Obviously, two different mentalities. But like seeing somebody, dressed in really nice clothes, buy an expensive drink, is a sign that maybe potentially this person is successful, and success is attractive, because who doesn't want to live a nice life? Not the only reason, obviously, but it's like part of the process. It's one of the items off the list, kind of deal. Am I off base on that?
I think there are some women that will go along with you for that,
Of
and then
course.
there's others that aren't. I didn't seek a high profile man. You
Oh, the
know,
high value man, they call now. High
yeah, the
value
high
man.
value man. That just, yeah.
6, 6, and 6. Oh,
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Six
about.
six
I know.
666. Is that Damien?
It's the 3 major requirements, but we'll yeah.
If you say
Don't want to
six
pollute
six
your
six,
channel.
it's the number of the beast.
Yes, it is
They
exactly.
must meet a criteria of 6 in certain areas for
Yes.
Oh,
some women
Liz.
to.
Oh, I know what you're on about, Liz. That's a bit naughty. That is naughty, Liz.
Well,
No. If a
fortunately, she
guy,
wasn't looking for it.
no, if a guy tells
Right.
you he's 6 inches, divide that by 3.
Oh my God! By 3?
By
Jeez.
3, men, men talk about their member. If somebody says they've got a 9 incher, you know it's a 3 incher. Women, if they
No,
tell
I
you
think
they
that's a
have,
little off base.
women, if they tell you they've only been with 9 guys, times that by 3. They've been with
That I agree with.
27.
That I agree with. Yes.
It's the ratio of threes.
But I mean, like the sides you're using are like not even usable as a member in general. Forget, what you're talking about. I mean, come on, 2 inches? Like, what are you gonna do with that? That's like, help me, I'm deformed.
Have
Nobody's
you
2
never
inches.
heard of Ron White?
Should I have?
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Okay.
He talks about his cheese wheel. He's got a
I don't
cheese
even
wheel.
know.
It's not length, it's girth.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, Jesus. That's even worse. Anyways, I really don't want to be on a panel talking about somebody's member, but the point is, you were telling us about.
All you have to say, mate,
Well,
is
yeah,
it's not.
that'll
Remember,
get
it's
clipped.
yeah. All you have to say is, remember, it's not all for your pleasure, love.
Right. This is a one-way direction, in case anyone's curious. Okay, one way.
Brian says Brian says he's got a 27 incher.
Name
So the
Charlie.
math would work perfect there. Yeah, see, he thought about this. I
Yeah, he
wouldn't
thought
even put
about.
it past Brian to actually measure it and then times
Yeah,
it by 3.
I
We
think
actually
he's
had this
thought about
discussion
this
the other
too
day.
much.
No, because we had this discussion the other day.
Yeah, he's thought about this way too much to think of that math.
Yeah. But you were saying what you were looking for. I'm curious to hear your answer, Liz. When you were
Oh,
younger, I don't know if you're married or not, by the way.
oh, I am. I've been married
Okay.
24 years.
Nice. So this is great because you are successful in your endeavor to find a partner in life, your best friend, whatever you want to call it, your world, your husband.
Yes.
So tell us what were you looking for, and then
I
you don't have to answer
wasn't.
any questions after that. Okay.
I
Well, you
wasn't
said you didn't
looking.
want a high value man, right? I mean, you said you weren't
But I didn't.
into that.
I don't go after when I was dating and all of that. I didn't go after that type of man. That was very off-putting to me.
Right.
I don't like. I don't like snobs, and
Okay, got
that
it.
arrogance for the high value. They tend to put that
Right.
off, and that is a turn off to me.
Right. So
I
what you're
want you to
saying
be
is you
who
don't like
you
the high
are.
value alphas. You don't like there's too much confidence there, too much they're conceited, right? Is that what you're saying?
I I don't think they have confidence. I think it's a fake. I think
Okay.
they come off as being fake and disingenuous.
Okay. So
I will
potentially fake
take a
confidence. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, how many? We always heard fake it till you make it.
Right.
We
Well,
grew up with that.
technically, that's another personality, though. So there are personality traits out there that emulate an alpha, but they're not.
I
So
don't think
yeah,
there's truly an alpha, a sigma, or anything. You are just you're a human being, and you either have um, I don't know if I want to call it. You either appreciate yourself for who you are, or
yeah,
you're trying to convey that for other people to see it in you.
gotcha.
Um,
That actually
it,
makes sense.
if you're not comfortable in your own skin, I'm going to read that. and I'm going to take that and be like, they're not comfortable with themselves.
So you don't think that there are divisions in personality traits?
I think there can be. I don't think anybody is set in stone. I think people can change and evolve. Um, I think a lot of women look to men who they think they can fix. Um,
That's a good
and
point.
That was not me. Yeah, okay, drinks. He was shy. Um, I everybody's different. I just,
Right.
there's no lump summing of anybody or anything or situation. We can, I could sit here and be sitting and watching people watching right next to you and see a whole different perspective.
Right. Excuse me.
So I don't know. I don't think there is. I think you're attracted to who you're attracted to, and you either seek them or somehow stumble upon them in your life if you're lucky enough.
But see, here's the thing: when you have a pack, there's going to be some in the pack that are going to lead or fight for the lead. There's going to be some that follow whatever the leader says, and then there's some scattered personalities throughout the pack. What I'm saying is do you not believe that there are, not that you put somebody in a box, but there are behavioral categories among a social network?
I think there are some people that absolutely own where they want to be in a pack. And
But
then
that
there are
doesn't answer the
others.
question.
There are people who don't want to evolve and change.
So
I
you
think
don't believe there is one?
there is and there isn't. I'm a complete skeptic, though, for everything because, and I question everything because you
Sure.
just never know. To me, a true alpha who is taking care of and looking after people are going to be back there helping the ones who can't traverse um, terrain like the rest of the pack.
That's a good point. Um, and like you said before, you can't put someone in a box where they can only be a certain way. There's really that division or that description of male behavior, or even I guess you could argue female behavior, but at least the way I read it, male behavior is just kind of like a guide. It's not like a Bible or an instruction manual. It's just like this is the tendency that we see. This is the general behavior, but it's quite possible for somebody to be an alpha and a sigma sometimes, or a beta and sometimes an alpha, or whatever, omega. There's a bunch of them. So I agree with you, but what I'm not saying talking about people specifically. I'm just talking about the idea of describing people, if you had to, by personality. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think it exists. I'm surprised if you don't, or maybe you just don't like the categories. Am I am I making sense? Or
I think people are fluid though. It's going to be like for
right?
me
That's my
situational.
that's my point. Yeah.
I think people are situational. I don't think there is a true. Um, I think there's characteristics, not
Well,
true.
right.
I'm set in stone. There are some people like that. We've all met them who actually think they are the alpha or the sigma. And we all kind of look at them like, okay, you just go back to your corner, you're good.
Right, and I think the public, the crowd, the people that are seeing that person should actually give them the labels, not the other way around. But you're saying essentially that you believe in it, but you keep saying that people are fluid, and I agree with you. But the question was, do these divisions exist? And essentially, you're saying yes, but maybe you don't want to. I don't know, but just look at it this way: would you ever see an alpha act like an omega, or just back off and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm good. You guys take the reins," and then behave completely opposite of that? Probably not. It's not
But
impossible, but you'd rarely, rarely, rarely see
but
that.
are they an alpha or are they just a leader type?
Well, that's why they have these divisions. An alpha is not the only leader. You
Right,
know, I mean,
but
there's a
that
beta that's a leader. There's a sigma that's a leader, even though they tend to wander and want to be alone. But there are three characteristics that are all leaders.
there's more than three though. And
Well, throw another one at me.
there are characteristics of you can gently lead, you can lead, follow, or get the fuck out of the way. There are ones who are going to proclaim they're leaders and then end up being micromanagers. It all depends. Like I said, everything is situational to me.
So you just gave an example of an alpha, a sigma, and a beta in that order. They're perfect examples.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But you classify those as alpha, sigma, and beta. Whereas there are so many nuances to that. And I hate that word. I hate nuance, and I just used it.
So were you just looking at it as little tool, big tool, super large tool kind of thing, or how are you? Okay. My point is what you call it and what it is kind of irrelevant. But if we used a single form of like, all right, here's the basis, that's how it would be. But I completely appreciate the fact that you categorize differently, and that's you. That's your right to do that.
But it's a
But
label.
it does exist. It is a label. It
Mm,
is a label. 100%. Definitely a label.
it's a label, and it wasn't like, okay, here we go. I didn't grow up with alphas, betas, or sigmas. People were
Betas are not
classified,
sigmas.
huh?
A beta is a beta. A sigma is pretty much an alpha without wanting to continue to stay in one place, to lead. Leads when he has to, doesn't when he doesn't need to. His own, he follows whatever he wants. He doesn't follow whatever somebody else wants. A beta is going to be like, what should I do, boss? Anything for you. Okay, you want me to do that? I'll do it.
Okay,
And then he
but
becomes a micromanager as you spoke.
what I'm saying though is I didn't grow up with those terms. We grew up with, oh, he's such a manly man. Um,
Okay, alpha,
or
manly man.
oh, that's kind of a nerd over there.
Nerd,
Or
I
that
think
you
that's an
okay,
omega.
yeah,
I have to pull the thing up. I get the
and see
omega confused. Yeah.
in my eyes, that younger person who may have been the nerd tends to be the most powerful person in the room anymore because
Powerful, but not necessarily the alpha. He may be the most powerful, but doesn't
but you
make
don't
the
have to be
Facebook
loud and
owner a leader.
brash.
No, of
But you don't
course.
have to be loud and brash to be a leader.
True, but you can also own a company and not be a leader. You're leading, but you're not actually a leader. You're just owning a company. You see what I'm saying?
You can. I mean, but that's once again situational.
Right.
All
Well,
right,
it's
I
all
need to pay
situational.
attention to chat over here too. Sorry, guys,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm missing it.
I love this. This is one of my favorite arguments. Is the or debates, I should say, not argument. Is the whole personality thing.
Well, my whole thing is everything in my eyes is fluid because we've seen. I shouldn't say we. I myself have seen so many people change over time that where you
Correct.
think they're one personality when they're younger, and then as things affect them in their life, they change.
So I agree with
Um,
you, and I don't think that if you're one character, you have to be that character forever. Sorry,
yeah,
you're keeping going.
no. I mean that's just it is what it is though. But it's also what you make of it. So,
True. It's a good general statement.
Pori Paul, are we boring you?
No, carry on, carry on, carry
Jump in
on
here.
talking.
Yeah, feel free to add your opinion, man.
Yeah.
No, you carry on.
See, well, because I'm a woman and I tend to be a stronger woman, but I can also be very gentle and calming. A lot of guys do not like that. They
Well, yeah,
are
of course.
very scared of a woman who has an opinion or can speak her mind. And I find it hysterical because it's like, I grew up with all brothers. I grew up with all male cousins. I worked in a male dominated industry. Um, it just it is what it is, and but I also made the best of what I had. So, um, people looking and seeing, I don't see the whole alpha, the rise of the alphas, I should say. Probably until probably the last 5 or 6 years, maybe, is really where we've seen that evolution, and I'm wondering why. Why have we changed to labeling things in a certain segment?
Well, it's not just labeling. It's I mean, I think labeling is just a way that we describe something. But again, like if you're an alpha when you're young, doesn't mean you're an alpha when you're old. Like, you know, your personality, like you said, can change, and you could change into a different personality trait. So I agree with you. It's not the same. It is fluid. Why is it? Why are we seeing the rise of the alpha? We're seeing it because of the way men either perceive that they're being treated or actually are being treated by women. And what I mean is, for example, they would find somebody that they find attractive. They want to marry them. They want to make them, you know, part of their family. And especially if they have money, you know, they're probably getting divorced within a certain time frame in which, you know, they can get full child support and split assets and all that stuff. And that's driving them into saying, you know, I hate women. And then now you get all this stuff perpetuating, you know, red pill and you know, strong men and you know, what is it, high value man, etc. That's kind of what I've seen, and then there's some other stuff that's also happening that's doing that, but I think that's the main driver.
Seeing, I guess maybe I know a little bit like history because, you know, I know, I understand where the guys are like fearful that, oh my God, women are starting to figure out and do things and become a little more independent. But it's also taken over 100 years to get that way, like here in the
I,
United
I
States
don't I
with the
don't think
19th
it's
Amendment.
the yeah, no, and I see where you're coming from. I don't think it's as much independent and like, oh my God, that woman is out of the kitchen and she has a job. I'm out of here. You know, it's like more like you know, the dynamic of the family is changing, and that's changing the value of the male, which is messing with a lot of psychology. If you get my meaning.
Oh, I do. I'm watching what your wife is putting here.
Oh God, she's a men's activist, so you know, just putting that out there.
And I don't have to be a men's activist or oh God, what's the, why am I having a brain fart? Burn your bras.
Yeah,
Burn your
yeah, I'll say that's all
bras.
women. Burn your bras, you know.
I was gonna
The
say
It
something
makes
feminist
my
else, but
life
I'm
movement.
gonna hold it back.
The
it makes
feminist
life
Hold
a
it
bit
movement.
back.
more interesting.
Yes.
The feminist movement. Um, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
either or. People are people, and I don't see you. Um, can my husband reach higher up than me? Yeah, his arms are longer, and we're close to the same height. But his arms are longer, so he can reach the top shelf. I cannot without a step stool. You know, um, I don't. I don't know.
Was this one of the prerequisites to marriage? Somebody that could open jars and reach, you know, items in the top shelves.
The top shelf, yes. Opening jars, I can do myself.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
He literally is only like an inch taller than I am.
Can you imagine if you screwed that up and, you know, found something that was like 5 foot? You would just be hating life. Like, God damn it, where's that stool again?
No, I wouldn't have dated him. Um, I used to. I used to basketball players.
Really?
Used to be my. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. If you were over like 6'5", it was like, you're a lovely human
Okay.
being.
Nice. So you like the
And yet,
tall ones.
I
Very
married a
interesting.
5'9" man.
Did your experience with the giants of the human race, scare you back to average, or you just got sick of, climbing a ladder to give a goodbye kiss?
No, no, it was just it was what it was. I did not expect to fall in love with this man, and I did.
No, that's awesome. That's the best
So
kind because you're like looking for a certain type, and then you end up finding the one that is your best friend there just on accident without you doing anything.
but I did.
I love that
I
stuff.
had a type, but I didn't seek them out.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
So, so
I think my type is called being alive. That's my type.
Heartbeats, welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Lady in Teal, Penny.
Yeah, Penny, the beautiful Penny.
Yeah, we can't help. We can't help it.
Yeah, yeah, the beautiful Penny. Penny, Penny, Penny.
I'm
Ah,
gonna have to go back and read the whole chat because I missed like the last half hour.
Yeah, me too. Well, even most of it because I was on the phone in the beginning, so it was like I can't type in the chat, so I just kind of like let it roll and look at some of the comments. But yeah, there was a
hmm.
lot of comments coming through. How many people ended up showing up, Paul? I know we're down to a few here, but
Yeah, it's
what
only
was that?
saying 5 people watching now,
Okay,
you know?
I got you.
But
Well, I'll definitely put some word out, and if you could just branch out into a
yeah,
few more communities and try to find some like other channels that are into like World War I and all the stuff that you talk
yeah,
about,
yeah, yeah.
and see if you can
Yeah, no,
get a few people to come over.
I'm trying to branch out, you know? But yeah, take it is what it is. If it builds up, it builds up. But I'm enjoying the little chats that we have at the moment too,
For sure,
you know?
for sure. Let
You,
me switch this
I mean,
over here.
it's cool to hear different opinions, and this is what this channel was set for.
Um,
Absolutely.
Mrs. P, I totally understand, and that is um, why I don't bash anybody, um, because there should be an equality. Are we all better geared for certain things? Yeah,
I'm
but that
sure
doesn't
there's
make
an
anybody superior to another. If we
and
all come together, we can work it out.
plus, Mr. P, it's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Weekend over there, isn't it?
Yes.
It is. Excuse me, I was
So
reading
yeah.
something.
Did you check out my video which I done for it too?
For Memorial Day,
Yeah, yeah.
did you send it to me or I didn't
I
see
know
it?
it's on the channel, mate. It's on the channel.
Oh no shit. Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
The Memorial Day. Got it right here. Got it right here.
Yeah.
Mrs. P, I'm a stepmother. I've fought the fight. I know what the family court is. When we were fighting all those years back, I actually had to go to the law library and have them order the out of state law books and have them shipped to my local law library. So I've been fighting that fight a long time.
Yo, hello.
Hello?
I'm here. I wasn't trying to drown you out with this Memorial
Yeah,
Day video here.
Oh, I can't hear it.
yeah. These will cry.
I will go wash my hands. I'll be back.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna have Nanners play this song here when Julia becomes a permanent member of the panel over there.
Yeah, that I could tell you some bit of history about that graveyard if you really want me to.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Okay, so that graveyard is near where I live.
Really?
Yeah, and you can go enter it by train. And it
Let's
was
see.
built in the 1920s
Okay, very cool.
because there was the ship American Navy ship got sunk, and they so they buried the dead over there. Of course, a lot of people got interned and sent back home, but the gravestone is still there. and it is the only U.S. Navy World War One cemetery in Britain.
Was really
Really?
for his age.
Yeah, I took the pictures ages ago, but I thought because it's Memorial Day and there's a lot of people in America, and I thought, well, they deserve to be remembered, so that's why I've done it too.
He's so tiny.
That's cool, man.
He's so bald for his age.
Are
Mm.
you not this is not a great topic to talk about, but I tend to my job literally for the most part, with the exception of maybe 20% of my business, is all about burial.
Yeah,
Have you put any thought into that, or is there you want to be put in like a canoe and lit on fire like a like
I want to be
a
shot into
Viking
space with that.
burial or
Yeah, I want to be shot into space with that nuclear waste.
dude, such a good idea. Like you will literally like have the best time ever.
Oh yeah, best time ever. Yeah, I'm not going to be fucking there to remember it.
Dude, you're gonna be like a surfboard, like hurtling to the darkness of space, man. It's gonna be a ride no other human has done, man. I don't understand why you wouldn't do that.
Knowing my luck, and this is my luck, I'll be diddled by aliens.
Well, that's a privilege, man. What are you talking about? It's like
No,
I've
it's
been
not a
waiting. I
privilege.
still can't get them to come down, man.
Yeah, that's
God
that's
damn.
that is that's really not a privilege getting diddled by aliens.
Well, you haven't been diddled by aliens, obviously.
Thank God for that.
Like what
Sorry,
Wow.
the
sorry.
fuck?
Yeah, good night, Brian. You take it easy, mate.
Good night, drinks. I come
Yeah.
back to alien diddling.
Yeah. I just bring up the point that Paul is afraid of something that he doesn't know is could be potentially a great thing, but he's dogging it, unfortunately. So it's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
What
I
was
don't want to
that
be
old
diddled.
movie? Flight of the Navigator?
Yeah,
Flight
brilliant
of the
movie.
Navigator.
Yeah. Oh, that's an excellent movie, Liz.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go,
I
go.
remember watching that.
You could be probed. You could be probed and you could be
Why do
you
you
don't
want
have to
my
be the little
arsehole to?
boy that has to return.
I'm gonna be really crude. Why does everybody want my arsehole to become an entry?
I didn't say anal probing, I just said probed.
Yeah, but that's what you mean by probed.
No, there is headgear that does probing. Have you not seen
Yeah,
the.
there's so much
Yeah.
probing that doesn't involve, your rectum. Just so you know,
How
Paul.
did they
I've
even
just got
start that rumor?
Yeah, I've just got visions of South Park in my head.
Yeah, no, the South Park will do that, man. They'll scare the Jesus out of you when it comes to rectal probing, and
I
it's
always
a
felt sorry
nightmare.
for Butters when Butters was they tried to diagnose Butters and they anal probe him this big massive machine.
Jesus. What about remember the gerbil episode where he's like chasing like the magic was it the squirrel or something? I forget. Oh no, the lizard. Was it a lizard? Yeah.
No, the gerbil had to there was the Frog King.
Oh, Frog King. Frog King. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. What an amazing episode. Oh my God.
yeah. I
Just
I used to have
terrible
the
things
South
we
Park.
watched, Liz. Terrible
I used to
things.
have the South Park screensaver,
Yeah.
and yeah. So when I left my computer on, I'd wake up at night and all I hear was Carl's mum is a stupid bitch.
Yeah.
You hear this going, well, Carl's mum's the biggest bitch, she's the biggest bitch in the whole world. Well, she mean I'll bitch her there was a bitch. She's a bitch to all the boys and girls. La 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 la.
Oh man, you got a very interesting sense of humor, Paul.
Oh, well, you gotta have a laugh sometimes, mate. You gotta have a laugh.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's just it's like almost like a different frequency you got to tune to when you start cracking jokes. You got to be prepared for it.
Yeah. I think it's the British way. British way is
It
very
might
different
be,
to the
yeah,
American,
might be, yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Because Liz,
I was just gonna say, I mean, we really had the rise of like the alien invasions in the 50s. How did they come up with all the anal probing back then and just perpetuated till now?
Wait,
before we
I
got
thought
to
you were
the
going to go a
other.
different direction with that question. But Paul,
Yeah, that
do
threw
you want
me.
to say something? I thought we were
I
going
don't
something
know.
more practical. But, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I um I don't know.
Did it
Um,
fly out?
maybe they were sexually repressed and they wanted to be anal probed.
Okay, but hold up. We talking about Area 51, or are we talking about in the 50s? Just like people complaining that somebody came down and they've never been the same since. You know, what are we talking about here?
What you mean the ring's been destroyed?
Yeah, that too. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, they entered Mount Doom and destroyed the ring.
Really? You destroyed the ring? Oh, never destroy the ring, man. You never destroy the ring.
I also heard
Like
you never go in dry
101, man.
neither. You
Yeah,
always go.
well,
You always go in with a little
that's rule
spit.
4. You're skipping
Yeah.
ahead.
See what you made us do, Liz? That's your fault.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just we haven't gotten to the point where it's we scare off Liz, but that's the barometer, man. If she starts to fly out, that's our canary, so to
I
speak. You know.
told this chat up line yesterday in the Irish Demons chat, and I thought it was quite funny, but some people didn't.
Yeah.
I said my chat up line's going up to a girl and saying, "Hey, you're like my little toe." And she'll go, "Little toe?" And you go, "Yeah, you're small and cute, and I'd probably bang you on my my coffee room table." That I fucked it up.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so
Yes,
yeah,
you
you're
Dropped
did.
small.
that one.
Yeah, you're small and cute, and I'll probably bang you on the my coffee
Coffee
table
table.
tonight. Yeah, that's
Got
it.
it.
Coffee table tonight. Yeah,
Definitely
I'm just
makes a
gonna.
decent joke and terrible pickup line, but depends on your
That's the
goals.
story. That is the story of my sex life.
Yeah,
Are there
well,
any good pickup lines?
I would say there are some. I don't know if you'd call them pickup lines, more like conversation starters or
Okay, what about this one, Liz?
opening
Do you
lines.
know what? Do you know what a piece of chicken and oral sex got in common?
A piece of chicken and oral sex have in
Yeah,
common?
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, do you want to come? Do you want to come on the picnic and then find out then?
Walked into that one.
Oh,
Soon.
that wasn't even good enough to be a dad joke.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus!
yeah,
Or your eyes.
yeah.
This is the British one. This is a British one. Walk up to a girl and go, "Your eyes are like spanners."
Your
Cause
eyes are like stars. Okay.
yeah, because every time I look at you, my nuts tighten.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. We
But
gotta get this guy yeah, we gotta get this guy a bad dad jokes by Paul Morrison. No laughs required. Awkward silence is welcome.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I know. Usually do.
Yeah, usually that's again. That's the story of my sex life.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of see where you're going wrong here, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We could turn this thing around. Fortunately.
Or another one is, "Wow, you look really tired tonight."
Oh yeah.
You go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," because you've been running through my mind all this time. I've been looking at you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I definitely can buy me a drink, Paul.
Oh, you're right there, little sugar. You know, right there, sweet cheeks.
Oh, Mr. P has fallen for Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
I've
do you
been
want to
falling
play?
for Paul.
Yeah.
This ain't breaking
Or do you
news.
want? Yeah. Or do you want to play Pokemon with me?
Pokemon? What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I'll show you my Pikachu, and you show me your Jigglypuffs.
Jesus. That was a good one. Write that one down, Paul. Use that one.
That's a good one. But she's got to
The
be
whole
a certain
toe thing here.
age.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, that's a good target group for you, Paul. If you land one of those, man, good for you.
Yeah.
You're a hero of wherever you're in there. Blacktown or Glasstown or something. I forget now. Terrible.
I actually stayed. I'm not going to say the town's name, but
No, you don't have to.
okay. But it's in a town near the Surrey and the Hampshire border.
Okay. Very cool. That's right. You guys have a New
Mm.
Hampshire? That's so cool.
Well,
I live near a New Hampshire border too.
well, you lived in New Hampshire. I lived near the original Hampshire.
Oh, the old Hampshire.
Yeah,
Oh, OG Hampshire.
the OG
Got it.
Hampshire. Yeah, just like OG Liz.
Got it. Thanks for clearing that up.
Mm.
Her border
Yeah,
is
so
not that old.
That
Let's
was a good
clarify
one.
that. So you guys don't get in trouble.
We got mom and dad jokes up in here, man. It's getting crazy here.
oh,
What was
trying to think
a
now.
real pickup line that you used? Embarrassing or not, what was the pickup line that you attempted?
I don't use pickup lines. I've never used a pickup line.
Really? Good for you.
Yeah. I met my first proper girlfriend at a college course.
Okay.
Then I met somebody I really, really did care for a lot. I'm not going to go into it here.
Yeah.
I met her because I worked in a place, and I met her through there.
Got it. So kind of like work situational.
I worked in a social place.
Gotcha. But you
So,
met her
yeah,
working there, basically.
yeah.
Got it.
And it
Very
led
cool.
me to getting. Yeah, it led to me to get into all little bits of trouble. There was some threats going around, and some people didn't like it. But
Well, guys,
it
a great way to
is what
pick
it
up
is.
a great way to pick up a woman is when she can't leave and she has to stay at her post at the job. So if you want to really corner somebody, try to pick her up at work. She ain't going
I think,
anywhere.
I think there's something that is called slightly illegal.
HR will totally love it.
Oh yeah,
Is that-
yeah.
Is that how you and Mrs. P met? Was at work?
Actually, kind of different. Not the cornering method or the you can't leave, so I'm going to harass you method. But we did meet as co-workers, I guess, briefly. So it's kind of weird, actually. I'll tell you our story. I was doing door-to-door sales for telecom, and was basically just managing a group within the group. Make sure that they were doing their stuff. I was knocking doors, selling cable contracts, and then teaching people how to do it. And Samantha came in kind of by accident because her sister or her sister-in-law, not sister-in-law, her friend that her no was it it was your brother's girlfriend that you were friends with. Okay, really wanted the job, and then her brother potentially, and they all came in kind of looking for a job. I don't think that your brother's girlfriend tried to do a couple weeks, and then she bounced. Sam, as a result, also tried a couple weeks. And to be honest with you, I actually didn't really want anything to do with Sam. No offense to her. I was just getting over somebody else that I had met down the line, and I was just not in a good mental place to be dating people. And she kind of just set her eyes and set a goal, and she didn't let up. And so eventually we started dating pretty quickly. I'd say maybe like 3-4 weeks, babe. Yeah. Yeah, and next thing you know, we're traveling the country together doing while I'm doing telecom, and she's right by my side, and she's been my co-pilot ever since.
Well,
And
that's
that
really
was
cool,
15
mate.
years ago. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Almost
And definitely
made me,
a partner. What's that?
Oh no, I was going to say something, but I just couldn't say it. Strange
No, it's
reason.
it's
I
cool,
don't
man.
know.
It's all good. But
No, no,
I
no,
got very
no.
lucky, man.
Yeah,
I got very
yeah,
lucky. I
yeah.
don't it wasn't really me that did it. It just, fortunately Sam, seen something in me that I'm not even sure I seen in myself at that time. And she quickly just came on board on the journey. And I'm very, very lucky that she did.
But, mate, that's one of the best things when you find somebody that you know that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
It
man.
really is.
I would never give advice on how to pick up women because if it was up to me, I definitely would have lost her. Just just saying.
Yeah, I don't think my pickup lines would work. Or
Well,
what
depends how close
what's
you
it
are
called?
to closing time. You might get lucky.
I've met some howlers, mate.
I'm sure, especially if you meet them at a pub. No
Yeah,
offense, to people that drink, but
I know. No, it's pub's more of a social thing over in Britain.
sure,
It's a different pub culture to America.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Pubs are pretty popular here. I think the issue with our pubs is when you have a dive. I don't know if you know what a dive is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do know what dive is, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you go into a dive and it's a little different scenario than like uh,
Hmm.
a nicer like pub, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think matter of fact, I think dives are what you call pubs, except they're more I don't know,
Oh
less
no.
classy. I
It
might be
depends
wrong,
where
but
you. It look.
yeah,
What everybody forgets about Britain, every town has
mm,
got their own slang.
right.
So if you're talking about a dive when you go to Glasgow, it's a
Hmm.
bear pit. That's what it is.
Interesting.
You call it a bear pit, and those usually the pubs where the you wouldn't like to say the wrong thing.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like a biker bar here. Mm,
Yeah,
something
but
like
it's
that.
a something like that, something like, but not bikers. No, just people would probably stab you just because you looked at them.
Got it. That makes sense.
But but some of those pubs have got a bad reputation, but some of them have got the nicest people in them, and they'll stand there and chat to you too. You know,
For sure. Yeah. Well, and
But
that's not all the same people. You got great people in there, and then you got the other
yeah,
spectrum.
yeah. You mean it works like that in posh pubs over here too.
I love how
You
it says
get
posh pubs.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, I think like here, there's dive bars, then there's the local bars, then there's clubs.
Yes.
we just have pubs.
You
You don't
don't.
have any nightclubs?
You just said you
We
have
have
the local pubs, and then you've got the posh pubs.
Yeah.
well,
There you go.
but the local pubs are different. But your local pub can be a posh pub too.
So it sounds like the
It's
same thing. Actually, it does sound very similar.
it's just it's a different drinking culture over here and way we perceive alcohol.
Are
Well,
you
what's the
telling me
difference?
there's the difference between the wine drinkers and the beer drinkers?
Well, wine
Hmm.
drinkers are shandy drinking puss, but you know what I mean.
You got it. Fair statement.
Oh,
Sorry, I should have said that. Oh,
we're
that's
heading
me
to
there.
territory we probably don't want to go.
Yeah.
No,
Obviously,
but
Liz is a wine drinker.
Oh, I
no,
actually
Liz is not.
no.
No,
I
Oh,
Liz
really?
actually
is
Okay. I thought that
not.
cannot.
was a knock.
Yeah,
I thought that was an intentional dig to wine drinkers, but okay.
but
No.
we have those pubs. We got depends. I mean, if you want a drink, you go to a normal pub. But if you want to go to a food place and you want to take your wife or partner wherever wherever you're dating, you'd go to like a gastro pub.
A gastropub?
Yeah,
It has something to do with gas, or just is it something else?
No, no, the gastro comes from it's gastronomy, cooking, and it's
Oh,
just a
okay.
higher class. It's just a higher class of food,
Got it. Got it.
and
So it's
it's
like
more like a
ice cream where they pump gas into it.
no gastronomy. It's just the French. It's just another term, French term for cooking.
Makes sense.
So that's what they call them gastro pubs because it's a higher class of cooking.
Gastropubs. Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I was going to ask, where's the antacid to deal with the gas? So we were all
Right.
three thinking different things.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Exactly.
I'm sure at the end of the evening they can figure out for themselves.
Exactly. So
All right.
your gastropub is probably is like the equivalent of like, we have the dive bar, and then we have like the nice local bar that serves, nice
Okay.
food, and that could be
All right.
anything.
So this is the pub I used to work at, and this is a gastro bar. This is a gastro
Okay.
pub. So I'm going to let me find it first, and I'll put it in.
Okay. Liz, were
Okay.
you gonna say
So
something?
We're going on 3 hours here, and I'm going to have to run soon.
Yeah, no worries. We can
okay,
close it
yeah,
down
no,
soon
yeah.
here.
Oh
So,
yeah, thank you. Yeah. So okay, so this is the pub. This is a former gastro pub. This is where I used to live too. So let me put this in private.
Okay.
and while you're doing that, I'm going to say, see ya later, everyone.
Yeah. See you later,
Yeah,
Liz.
a pleasure,
All right.
Liz. Great to talk to
Yeah,
you.
it's
Toodles.
been always have a good
Anytime.
laugh with you, Liz. You take care.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
There you go. So this is a gastro pub. I'll put it in
Cool.
private.
Let's see, copy link and put it over here. Oh, it's cool, man. I actually, I think the only reason why people aren't here is they just either don't know about it, or like drama and refuse to have an intelligent conversation, and probably the latter.
Hmm.
But I think when you go back and do all your streams, I think this was a good one. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I think it was good, really conversation on both sides of an argument, and having your third party perspective was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
You interjected a lot of good stuff in there, like you reminded me of things that I had forgotten, and I just thought that was a really well done stream.
Hmm. And this is the type of thing that we used to cook. I know this because I said we can pick a picture. Oh no, hold on. Yep. So this is what I mean by the difference in the pub culture over here. So let me get
Sure.
this private chat. It may come up with a picture. Yeah. So that's what me and the head chef used to cook.
Check it out here. Let's see. Okay. Copy. So much harder to do on the phone.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's using to use a phone. I'm still got to figure out my internet because it's my StreamYard barely glitches on cellular, but glitches all the time with
Hmm.
internet. So I think I got some
Well,
kind of port issue. I need help with it.
I have got 500, about 450 megs going through the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got like really high speed internet.
Well, that's what I actually have more than that, which is crazy. But it's not. I don't have issues when I'm downloading or where I'm streaming, but it seems like when I'm on StreamYard that requires, I think, a back and forth. There's some kind of issue because my cell phone network should not be able to outperform my house network, but it is. And I
Yeah.
rarely have an issue with StreamYard on my cell. That tells you there's a data issue.
Mm. Okay, so right now, I'm download is 379.7.
Yeah, if I did
And
mine, I mean, mine is usually between 400 and 800.
Yeah, yeah. And this is
So it's not a
upload
speed
is
issue.
48. Hmm, that's weird then.
No, I think that's why I described my issue to a couple of people that were good with IT, and they said it's a possible port issue. Main problem being that I'm using their router. It's a modem router,
Okay.
and I see I can't really get in the controls and kind of fix it quickly like somebody else could. I think I'm just going to need to contact
Hmm.
their customer service. I tried using their app to mess with the settings, but
Yeah, man.
there's no
Okay.
port settings. It's a pain in
No,
the ass. Anyways,
I
the point
bet.
is I stream on my phone. That's why.
Okay, that's
So it's
fair enough.
easier.
Well,
You know, and I
I'm
chat
gonna
with a
shut this
tablet.
down. Yeah, I'm gonna shut this down
All right,
because it
man.
looks like it's came down to the end. There's not many people watching now, is there?
All good, man.
No, man. Yeah.
It's
Well,
officially a Skype call.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello. No phone boning, then. Please don't phone bone. I'm not into
No,
that.
no, me neither.
you know.
I still don't get it,
Maybe,
but that's
maybe
okay.
later when I've had a few more beers.
Yeah, I might try it with somebody.
Yeah.
Figure
Why
it out.
not?
Just to say that I did it.
Yeah, go for it.
Don't want to go through life and never phone bone. I don't know. I don't think I'll enjoy it. But
No.
are you are you heading somewhere?
Um. Well, it is 3 o'clock in the morning here. I don't think there's many channels on, so I'll probably log on to my channel, and if I see you around, I'll say hi.
All right, man. Well, I'll catch
Yeah,
you on the streets.
yeah, man. You look after yourself. You give your missus a hug from me, and you take care, mate.
All right, man. You too. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
man. You too, mate. Good night.
Good night.
Night.